All right, welcome to the Bearcat Sports Network, and we're live from the campus of the University of Nebraska Kearney here at Cope Stadium and Foster Field for tonight's matchup against the Grand Island Islanders and the Kearney High Bearcats. It's a rivalry game tonight, and alongside me is Mitchell Brandt. We got Alex.
Oh yeah,
we got some
Yep,
new. We got some new faces around here.
Ryan Dalkey, and of course our advisor, Mr. Goff.
Alvarado.
What? Okay.
We got some new faces, ladies and gentlemen. Still learning names and faces.
Yep.
All right.
First football game of the year.
Yeah, really excited. What are you looking forward to? What are you looking forward to today in this rivalry game, Mitchell?
We're back. Rowdies are back. We've got packed stands today, so it is just in general, it is.
I'm just
Football's back.
I know, it's amazing.
just looking. There's like barely any open seats. Like if you came now, you'd be hard pressed to sit your group together.
Feels good to have the stands filled, and I tell you what, I'm excited for this game after how the last game in 2019 ended after last year's matchup in 2020 being suspended due to COVID. I'm excited to see how both teams are going to come out. The Bearcats, those that remember 2019, are going to come out here looking to take back Grand Island.
For sure.
All right, so a little something about Strive. Kearney High School is a proud member of the Strive family of schools. Strive is a Nebraska-based company that works with schools to not only help stream these great events, but also develop educational experiences for students in the world of digital media. Over 150 schools strong, Strive, working to help students in schools tell their stories. If you have any questions about Strive, please contact our advisor, Mr. Robert Goff. Welcome back. We also want to thank our new sponsor, Pinnacle Bank. Without their financial support, we would not be able to bring you events like this one you're watching tonight. We want to personally thank Nikki Masek, Brian Moore, and the rest of the incredible group of people at Pinnacle Bank for this financial support. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be.
Well, my dreams are sweet.
Life is about waking up to a brand new dream. We're the local bank that's with you, wherever it leads, because we're more than a bank in Nebraska. We're Nebraska in a bank. Pinnacle Bank.
All right, before we get into the game, we take our final break and we wait for the players to come out on the field. Any final thoughts on what the game is going to look like today, Mitchell?
I forgot about the cannon. Yeah.
The cannon is also back, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I was talking to some players. Everybody's just ready to go for today. Like they're all waiting. I was with a couple kids first block. They're just ready to go. They've been waiting for this since, I know one of them specifically said they've been waiting for this moment since they were a sophomore, the first time they were on field. So they're ready. They are ready to be out here.
When you grow up in Grand Island, you grow up in Kearney, you grow up knowing about the rivalry that this game is. These two teams have been at each other's necks for years and years and years, for generations. Some of the parents in the stands even played in some of these games. This rivalry runs deep. I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes down. We got a lot of young talent, or we got a lot of good talent, and we're gonna take a quick break, and we will be back with Kickoff. You're watching the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Bearcat Sports Network. And we are getting ready for kickoff. The Bearcats are about to run out of the tunnel. A lot of excitement, a lot of energy going on in the stadium, and we are very much anticipating this game. It's been a long time coming.
If you tuned into our game last night, the volleyball, it was Kearney versus North Star. Just a second, here come the players. And Kearney takes the field in a relatively COVID-free environment for the first time in 664 days. 664? Yep. This is the first time in just under 2 years that this field has been packed, that the players are rolling out, and that they're all on the field ready to go.
Yep. It looks like a normal game. Kearney fans have packed this side of the stands. Can't really see it on the screen, but they are. It'll be a loud one tonight for sure.
All right, so we're going to go over the starters for the Kearney High Bearcats. We do not have any starters for GI. Starting at quarterback for the Bearcats will be number 14, Riley Miller. He's a senior. At wide receiver, we have Caden Miller and Tanner Johnson and Braden Anderson and Jack Dahlgren. At tight end, we have DeAndre Ndugwa and Hudson Bertrand. In the slot, we got Max Myers, number 21, Evan Denny, number 0, that's a new number, Xander Ruling.
It is, certainly is.
And then we got at left tackle, we have number 72, Brooks Paul. At left guard, we got number 56, Nathan Grabenstein. At center, we got Wade Palmer. At right guard, we got number 60, Evan Poland. At right tackle, we got Cash Roseberry. And now going on to the defensive starters for the Bearcats. At strong safety, we have Chris Dutenhofer. At defensive tackle, we have Nathan Grabenstein. At nickel, we have number 71, Noah Molina. At D end, we have number 68, Cash Roseberry. At linebacker, we got number 60, Evan Poland. At linebacker, we got number 27, Parker Weiss. At strong safety, we have DeAndre Ndugwa. At left cornerback, we got Jack Dahlgren. At free safety, we have Braden Anderson. At weak safety, we have number 10, Caden Miller. And at right cornerback, we have number 36, Tanner Johnson. The Bearcats are taking the field. Both teams are ready and set to kick this game off.
Yeah, now before we even going on the stream, they had a coin toss. Kearney did end up winning that. They chose to defer to the second half, and Grand Island will receive the kick.
This is an absolutely beautiful night for a football game. If you look at the flags on the goalposts, you can't see them on screen right now, but from where we are looking, they are barely blowing. So there's almost no wind. It's a perfect night for an awesome first football game.
Just got back from playing a tennis match. The Kearney High Bearcats played a pretty good tennis match from what I heard and what I saw. And the Bearcats are ready to dominate on the football field. And James Dakin will be here to kick off this game.
We saw a lot of good stuff from Dakin last year. I am looking forward to seeing what he can do this year.
And we're away here in Kearney, Nebraska.
Good kick. Hits
We
the
return-
end zone.
And he's going to be wrapped up short of the 20-yard line. He's going to be stopped with forward progress, I believe, at the 11-yard line. Great coverage right there by the Bearcats.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Robert Goff here. I'm the advisor for Bearcat Sports Network. We did have an issue right now with our scoreboard. It's going to come up here in a few minutes here. For some reason, it closed out on us, so we will have the score and the time up here. But we had an issue here, so it closed out, and that's what we love technology for. And we all know that we've been a part of that here. So give us a few seconds here, and back to Nolan and back to Mitchell.
All right, here we are.
All right, now Nolan, I'm gonna have to apologize to you because I didn't write down names for all of those defensive positions there. But Noah Molina will be starting at the nose tackle position. Not quite nickel, but
Oh, we have a little bit of a reverse here. And the Islanders, that's going to be a first down. And that was taken by, that looked like it was number 18, Will Newth, if I'm not mistaken.
Grand Island starting off with some trickery.
That was well executed.
Caught the Bearcats a little bit off guard there, enough to get them the first down. I believe about 12-ish yards, yeah. And so Bearcats again probably won't be fooled by that.
Starting at quarterback, it looks like will be. Well, I can't really tell. That is number 12, Cohen Evans for the Islanders, and that's another solid run right there. That was picked up by number 16, Colton Marsh, on the carry right there, and he will also march it down for a first down.
That's the way you win in football. You just got to keep pressing down that field. If you can get the first down, go for another one.
Excuse me, a quarterback is number 15, Kyton Fife. Any relation to Riker Fife, the quarterback at Nebraska?
I believe it's a little brother.
Really?
Guess it runs in the family then.
Takes a snap, hands it off. A little bit of a shaky handoff, but he's stopped short behind the line of scrimmage. Great wrap-up right there by the Bearcats.
Kearney has that big defensive line up there with DeAndre coming off that left side, Rosenberry coming off the right side, and inside to wrap them all up is Nathan Gravenstein and Noah Molina.
Islanders lined up in the gun. Takes a snap, and he's going to run the option. He's going to pitch it off, and that's going to be a solid gain of about 5 yards, and the ball is loose, and the Bearcats say they have it.
And let's check it here. Bearcats say they have it. We got to wait for the guys in the stripes.
And
they're saying Bearcat ball.
Bearcat football.
35-yard line. What a great start for the Bearcats.
Bearcats have great field position. The 36-yard line to start off this drive.
Yeah, Chris Dudenhofer came hot off that edge. Didn't give the quarterback much of a chance to do much with the ball. He immediately had to pitch it. He was hot off that edge. If he maybe gave him a second's notice before he had to give rid of the ball, it also would have been for a sack, although. All
right, and Riley Miller walks into the huddle. He gives the Bearcats their play. This is his first time starting in a high school varsity game. We'll see how he does today. Bearcats line up on gun, running back to Miller's left, and hands it off to Parker Weiss, and he gets about 4 yards on that carry.
I'm going to give him 5 on that.
I'm giving him 5.
I'm going to be nice there.
And
actual retail price is 5.
There we go. I guessed it.
All right, gain of 5 right there by Parker Weiss. Bearcats lined up in the gun again. They got three wideouts, motion man. Miller takes a snap. Fake handoff, and he's going to pass it to Caden Miller. Caden Miller juggles it and catches it, and the ball came out. I think he was down.
They called him down.
Yeah, they called him down.
Yeah, back judge called it down real quick.
He's going to be down at the 16-yard line, so the Bearcats getting down the field. Great hands play right there by Caden Miller.
He was able to tip it up to himself to keep in front of him. Luckily, the Grand Island defenders were far enough off to have enough time to, enough time to catch it.
All right. Again, sorry, right here. We got the clock up. We're in here. If I know how to run the clock and get it started the right time.
Miller in the gun. Weiss to his left, and he's going to hand it off to Weiss. Weiss has a hole, and he's going to power through. He's still going.
Weiss is burning people over.
Pants pulled down and everything, but he
oh, my goodness.
Battles for a 7-yard gain. Actually, that's a 9-yard.
9 yard. 6, 7, 8, 9. Come on, Mitchell.
Hey, it's the first football game.
Okay, all right, we'll give it to him. I'm thinking look about 8.
The pants came up, but the wheels kept moving.
Okay.
All right.
We're going to remember that. Tell that to Parker on Monday. Parker be like, that's okay, Nolan. We're good with that.
That's a dedicated player right there.
That's right. Parker just, Nolan, like you said here, there's football, and there's big games, and then there's just big games.
Yeah.
And in Class A, this is probably one of the top 5 rivalries in the state.
Absolutely.
Top 5 rivalries in the state.
Bearcats in the red zone. They're on the 9-yard line. There's going to be a flag thrown, it appears, or a timeout.
I think it's timeout.
Timeout Bearcats.
So timeout called by the Bearcats, and we're going to take that timeout as well. You're watching the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank.
Well, all my dreams are sweet.
Life is about waking up to a brand new dream. We're the local bank that's with you, wherever it leads, because we're more than a bank in Nebraska. We're Nebraska in a bank. Pinnacle Bank.
Back.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Bearcat Sports Network. The Bearcats knocking on the door right now. They're on the 9-yard line. Riley Miller lines up in the shotgun. He's going to hand it off to Parker Weiss, and Weiss is going to power his way through to about the 6 or 5-yard line. It's going to be the 6-yard line, so a pickup of about 3 yards right there.
Parker, just in his first three rushes, he was already at 16 yards, so he's starting. He's got 3 touches here in our first drive, so he's.
And they're giving him first and goal.
Yep, first goal for Bearcats at the 6-yard line. Trying to take advantage of that first takeaway. At games like this, you need big breaks, and Bearcats took one right away.
Miller takes a snap. It's going to be an option play. He's going to take it himself, and he's going to
And
get to the
he's
end zone.
in!
Touchdown,
Touchdown,
Bearcats.
Touchdown, Bearcats.
Touchdown, Riley Miller. A great read option play right there by the Bearcats. You'll love to see it. That was a well done drive. Hey, sometimes defense creates the best offense, and that was a great situation right there by the Bearcats that they created.
Absolutely. Great touchdown by Riley Miller there for the Bearcats on the board first. 8:20 remaining in the first quarter of action here, and Bearcats strike first, 7-0.
All right, James Dakin on to kick the extra point. He will take the snap.
Up.
The kick is up, and it is good. Right down the middle. And onto the roof of the locker rooms, actually.
I've always been impressed by Dakin's power in the leg he's got there.
I wrote football for the Echo last year, and the amount of times that Dakin's name came up was impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Bearcats up 7-0. Their touchdown graphic there. Bearcats up 7-0 on the early touchdown off of the fumble.
Yeah, fumble.
8:20 remaining here in the first quarter of action. Bearcat Sports Network brought to you by Pinnacle Bank. We'll take a short break here and get ready for kickoff. And I'm out of here. I'm going down the field taking video, guys.
Well,
you guys got this covered?
Absolutely.
All righty.
We got it, Goff.
All right, guys. Have a great game. And go Bearcats.
If there's fire coming out of these.
All right, welcome back to the Bearcat Sports Network. Bearcats going to kick it off back to the Islanders after that touchdown drive that started at the 36-yard line off of the fumble from the Islanders. And the kick is up in the air. And it'll be a touchback. So the Islanders will start at the 25-yard line. Oh, I forgot the high school rule. They have it at the 20.
Yep. We're not cool enough for the 25 yet.
I guess not.
it is what it is.
Yep. By the way, speaking of rules in different college sports and how the NCAA does that at the 25, Huskers playing tomorrow, week 0, against the Fighting Illini. It's
Volleyball's
exciting.
playing right now against Colgate.
Oh, yes.
I got the notification on my phone. Game started a while ago. So
All right, but here in Kearney, Nebraska, we got high school football.
that's all we need.
Islanders line up in the gun. He drops back to throw. And
Screen
he's being
pass.
rushed, and he's going to be thrown. And a great stop right there by the Bearcats. They read that play perfectly. They applied the pressure and got the job done on defense.
Open book right there.
Dudenhofer recognized the screen right away.
That was great. That was a great read by the Bearcats.
7:50 left in the first quarter, and the Islanders are 2-12.
Fife in the gun. Takes a snap. He's looking to throw again, and he's going to throw. And that and did he?
I believe it's dropped.
No,
Dropped
no,
on
he
the far
caught
side.
it.
He caught it.
He caught
Nope,
it.
they're gonna say incomplete.
Oh.
They called it. I think he might have had a toe outside of bounds.
Thank goodness the referees are there, because our perspective, we could not see that.
Yep. We had a bit of a running joke last year about how I always got the line judges, like how far they would run wrong. I got glasses over the summer, so we'll see if I get any better. I likely won't, but
Fife in the gun. He's going to take the snap. Drops back to throw. And right down the middle of the field, that was number 35, Cole Bauer on the catch. That's a solid pickup by the Islanders. And they have a first down.
yeah,
First down at the 34-yard line.
I'm gonna give him
33.
33. Maybe I need glasses.
Oh, well, you're pretty
Apparently, you
close.
have to go to the optometrist more than once every 8 years.
Oh, wow.
That's
I had not been there since 2013.
I'm just going to keep
they-
it. No, he's going
yeah.
to pass it off in a great
Oh.
defensive play, and a
Yeah,
swarm
they
of
drove
Bearcats
him
gets
way
on him.
back.
Bearcats rallying to the ball. Good job by them.
Back
Pitch-
to the 25.
That ball was pitched to Aiden McDermott, but that ball is going to go for a loss on the play.
It's looking like here coming straight into the first quarter here. Grand Island's gonna run the option pretty heavily. They've already ran it like 3-4 times.
Seems to be the strategy for the Islanders in this one.
It's worked, but I very well know that coaches drill into them from being freshmen, drill in who to take first. So they've had it drilled into them who to take, and they always, as we can see there, leads to big losses like that.
Fife gets the snap. He's going to throw it, and it's going to be dropped, incomplete, targeting Cole Bauer
There's a
on that
flag
play.
on
And there's
the
a
play.
flag on the play.
Let's see what our favorite zebras say about this.
Favorite is a bit of a stretch.
And it's going to be a
I believe illegal man downfield.
yes.
I believe that's what the call is. It's never a call I look for, but
We're going to look for the official announcement on what has been called.
looks like Coach Cool is deliberating with the officials and if he wants to take the penalty or not. But
Yeah, legal man downfield on the Islanders, and the penalty is going to be declined.
he's going to give him third down.
And third down for the Islanders. Third down and 15.
Quite a stretch. But we've seen them pull off a 12-yard pass just a few minutes ago, so let's see if they can do that again.
Third down here for the Islanders. They line up in the gun. Takes the snap, looks, throws, and that pass is going to be caught. And a great cut downfield, and he's going to have – oh, the ball came loose, and Ndugwa picked it up, and the Bearcats have the football. They're going to have it down at the –
That's number 85.
DeAndre
DeAndre,
Ndugwa.
yeah.
The hustle from him, and then the strip sack as he brings him to the ground. And
That
then
is
the
the-
scoop. You can't ask for two better defensive starts. 2 fumbles, 2 recoveries.
That is the second turnover.
I mean, that's such a great defensive start. But you're watching the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank.
There's no place quite like our middle of everywhere. We're the bank that'll help you celebrate everything it brings. Because we're more than a bank in Nebraska. We're Nebraska in a bank. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be.
And welcome back to the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank. And the Bearcats are back on offense after a great turnover.
I hope Mr. Goff got down to the field in time to shoot that.
Sure hope so. And the handoff's going to go to Chris Dutenhofer. Dutenhofer's going to run it down, and he's going to get a solid pickup. That looked like a horse collar tackle, and that is a horse collar tackle.
Flag thrown, flag thrown.
Flag
Toss
thrown on the
up.
play. That's going to be a horse collar tackle. That's going to be 15 yards added to the end of that run.
Now, I got to ask you here. Do runners get the extra added penalty yards?
I
onto
believe
their
so.
rushing stats?
Personal foul, yep, it's going to be 15 yards. I believe that is added to the end of the run, if I'm not mistaken.
It's looking like it, yep.
Yep.
Looked about like a 2-3 yard run. Toss on the extra 15 yards. Gets you about 18 there.
So the Islanders give the Bearcats a little bit of help right there.
What exactly qualifies as a horse collar tackle?
A
It's
horse
when you-
collar tackle is when the collar on the jersey, when the player reaches in there and pulls down on the tackle,
Oh.
because
right
that can be
behind the neck.
dangerous.
Right behind the neck
Right.
is where you're going to get it. 'cause
Like
then
grabbing a horse by the reins.
I guess.
You
yeah.
could say that, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe that's where the name comes from. I'm not sure.
Horse collar? I don't know.
Works for me.
Yeah.
I don't know what a horse collar is. I'm just a football nerd. Anyway, we got Riley Miller in the shotgun for the Bearcats, and he's going to drop back. Looks to throw. He's going to throw downfield. He has Caden Miller deep and just in front
Right
of him,
through the hands.
incomplete. He had him streaking downfield, but just overthrew him by just ever so
tiny
much.
bit.
So the Bearcats will have second down now.
Oh, Riley Miller struggling off field here. He did get hit as he released the ball. Just take a moment to catch his breath, I guess.
Probably got the wind knocked out of him.
Yep.
Happens in football. I can attest to that. When in my middle school days, that was
Yep.
that happened a few too many times.
They teach you that when you take self-defense classes as well. If you're purposely the one who's like being the aggressor, when they send you down to the ground, which they will, you need to breathe out, or else you will get up and you will feel very uncomfortable.
Bearcats in the shotgun. Man goes in motion to the left, and the handoff's going to go to Chris Dudenhofer. Dudenhofer makes a cut. He's going to gain about 3 yards on that play. So it's going to be 3rd down and 7 for the Bearcats coming up. 3rd down and 8, excuse me. It's a gain of only 2. You got 5 minutes, 38 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Bearcats break huddle.
Dudenhofer to his left.
Miller's going to take the snap. He's going to look, throw. He's scrambling, and he's going to be wrapped up and sacked. He's going to be sacked, and the Bearcats are probably going to look to punt right here. I think he was trying to throw it out to Chris Dudenhofer, who was going out to the left, and he was open, but the pressure came.
Yeah, unfortunately, a GI linebacker was able to sneak through the line as they did rush quite a bit there, forcing him to roll out right, making it difficult and not such a wise decision to throw crossfield back to Dudenhofer.
So the Bearcats are going to punt here, and not quite sure who that punter is.
Tanner Johnson shanks that one into the sideline. It'll be at the 40-yard line.
So the Islanders have good field position to get their next drive started, the 40-yard line. That's pretty good.
I mean, right now, Islanders are 0 for 2 on their drives, both with fumbles, so.
And how much of the read option do you think that the Islanders are going to use on this drive?
You know what? For the most part, other than like 2 of the plays, they have all been positive plays. They have all worked pretty well. So I don't think they're going to shy away from it as much. Now, you might see them do quite a bit of running at the beginning, but then show up later on. See right here.
And Fife is going to hand it off, and he's going to be met by a swarm of Bearcats. And that was number 27, Alex Zingle, on the run right there.
I think they're going to make that 15-2.
Yeah, Bearcats fighting through those blocks, getting right past them. We've seen it quite a bit tonight, and they're all flying to the ball. So as soon as one person gets them wrapped up, it's pretty much game over for them.
They actually moved them up 2-9.
Have you seen the Islanders' new stadium? It's quite nice. I
have. I've played there.
It's
I played football last year, which
yes.
I didn't know about any of this last year. So I played all sorts of offensive line, all sorts of weird positions. But I played there. It was quite an interesting game. We moved quite a bit around, but it was freshman football. So
Fife overthrows Brandon Fox on that play.
It's freshman football, so it's not really a spotlight football. It was very high scoring.
3rd down coming up for the Islanders. 3rd down and 9. Expect the Rowdies to get loud for this one. You can't hear them, but my gosh, you know they're getting loud. Fans rising to their feet for this 3rd down.
It's one of the very few setbacks in our booth here. Is we can't get outside noise.
I know.
Get a little bit for the drums, but other than that,
Fife in the gun. He's going to look to pass. Steps up in the pocket. He looks like he's going to take it himself, and he's going to be, he dodges a tackle, and he's going to be stopped about 2 yards short of the 1st down. Great defense after the broken tackle by the Bearcats. So the Islanders will punt it away here, and the Bearcats get another stop. It looks like they're actually going to run a play here. They're going to go for it. Oh, it's a trick play. And there's going to be a
flag on the field.
I believe that will be a false start on the Islanders. Jumped the gun a little bit. That was a very crafty play. I've never seen anything like that. That was quite the play by the Islanders.
I'm starting to notice something after the punter was kind of creeping in a little bit towards the 40-yard line. I'm like, it's pretty normal for a school to punt from 15 yards, give them plenty of time and ample time to receive the snap and be just fine, I guess, from blockers. But he's sitting at around 10, so.
Yeah, the the formation that they got in was a little bit unusual. Not commonplace for a punt right there. And back to punt will be Kitan Fife, the quarterback. And this is another different formation. Are they gonna? Oh, it's gonna be rugby style, and there's a whistle blown.
Another flag. Maybe another flag?
I don't see a flag on the field.
I'm not seeing one, but they did stop it, so maybe the clock wasn't going yet. Yep, they're going to keep the ball in the same spot.
Okay, so it looks like they're going to do it again. Do you think that the Islanders, after looking like they might have faked it, trying to keep the defense on their toes, that they just are going to punt it away this time?
Punter's staying at the 10-yard line, and they're definitely going for yeah, they're I will take
And
that.
it's
There
going to be
it
a
goes.
rugby style kick, and that's a solid kick by Fife. My goodness, and that's a touchback. Oh, wow, what a punt. Oh, my goodness. I thought that was going to be a touchback. That takes an Islander bounce, and it's going to be down to 1.
Not even the one. That's as close to the end zone as you can get.
I know, that's like
Yes,
half the...
they really pushed the Bearcats back on that one.
That is an incredible punt by Fife. You don't see that very often in high school football, I can tell you that.
You don't.
Good punters are a premium in high school football,
Although
Absolutely.
especially in Nebraska anyway.
it is probably
the Huskers could use them.
it is probably a pretty big benefit to Grand Island to have their quarterback also be their punter. Opens up those fake opportunities because, well, you don't know. They could be punting there or not. And they showed their same formation.
And a timeout will be called by the Bearcats. And we're going to take that timeout as well. You're watching the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank.
Well, all my dreams are sweet.
Life is about waking up to a brand new dream. We're the local bank that's with you, wherever it leads, because we're more than a bank in Nebraska. We're Nebraska in a bank. Pinnacle Bank.
All right, welcome back to the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank. And the Bearcats are pinned inside their own 1-yard line. They need to get some breathing room here if they want to have any hope of a successful drive here. And looks like Miller will line up in the gun. Motion man. He's going to take the snap, and they're going to try to go forward. And with forward progress, he's going to get at least to the 1, I think.
He got back to the 1.
But that
Sideline official is giving him the 1.
That was great defense by the Islanders, though, right there.
That is where they would want to keep the Bearcats.
Let's see, who'd you say on that run there?
That was Riley Miller on that run, and that run
QB keep.
made it back to the line of scrimmage. Some subs coming in for the Bearcats.
Jack Dahlgren on his way in.
Bearcats lined up in the gun again for this second down in 11. So they must have lost yards. And Miller's going to throw, and that's going to go up in the
Pass
air
tipped
and
up.
falls
Oh.
harmlessly to the ground. And that was number 15, Kitan Fife, who almost actually got that pick. He's been doing it all.
You're not
for
going to have
the
to memorize
Bearcats.
very many names today. You've got Fife and
Yeah.
Fife only.
Islanders doing a good job of pinning this Bearcat offense back in their own territory. So it's 3rd down and 11.
I'm not sure how they got 3rd and 11. We're getting two different numbers.
Considering-
Scoreboard says 10.
Thir-
Sideline says 11.
3rd and 10 and a half.
I don't know how they judge yards in the end zone, but
And
yeah.
it's going to be a handoff, and that's going to give them some breathing room on the punt, but that's going to be about a 4-yard carry right there by Parker Weiss. So the Bearcats will punt it away, and hopefully it's better than the last one. Otherwise, the Bearcats will be in trouble on the defensive end. They're going to have to manage that. They're going to have to really stick it to the Islanders on defense.
We've seen pretty good things from the Bearcat defense right now. Although Tanner
And
John,
And we're going to have a whistle blown here. And
we have another missed start. I don't want to say false start because it's not a penalty. But it's looking like they just had a bad day. Referees weren't ready or something.
substitution, perhaps?
Someone came off and someone came on. But
Oh, and that's a bad snap. That's going to roll to the punter, and that's going to tumble, and that's going to be picked up. That's number 1, Brandon Fox on the recovery, and the Bearcats stop him after a short return on the punt.
Jacob Ransdell with the great wrap-up tackle after the low snap by Braden Anderson. It was a lucky roll because it continued straight back to Tanner Johnson, and Tanner Johnson recovered from his punt from earlier where he shanked into the GI sideline and got one off for a pretty good distance.
Yep. Minute and a half left in this first quarter, and the Islanders are in really good field position.
35-yard line in your opponent's territory. You can't ask for better field position than that starting off a drive. So the Islanders line up in the gun. 2 receivers out to the left and to the right. Fife's going to take the snap, and he's going to fake the handoff, and there's going to be a whistle blown, and the flag is thrown.
It's a false start.
Another false start, perhaps, or an encroachment penalty on the Bearcats.
I think I saw a quick leave by the right tackle. I think right tackle, maybe they had a tight end over there too. Offsides,
It's on the
Bearcats.
defense. So Bearcats will give up 5 yards. So it'll be 1st and 5 for the Islanders. They march to the 30-yard line now. Bearcats not helping themselves out with that penalty. Islanders line up in the gun. 2 receivers out to the right, 1 to the left, and Fife is going to take it himself, and he's going to dive forward. And he's going to. It looks like he's going to be short of the line to gain. Be a gain of about 2 yards right there. So 2nd and 3 coming up for the Islanders.
This is where we need to see that Bearcat defense kick in.
They've been strong to start the game, so I'm a rely on them.
Just keep it going.
Fife takes the snap. He's going to keep it himself, and he's going to be – it looks like he got the first down right there.
They'll give him the first down.
Solid pickup right there on the ground by Fife. That read option has really been working for this Islander offense.
They've got the read option. They've got the regular option where they're just going to take it out and run with it. Plenty of options to choose from.
Islanders seem to be moving a little quickly, trying to up the tempo right here.
They do have under a minute here in the first quarter.
3 receivers to the left, 2 to the right, and Fife is going to keep it himself again, and he's going to dodge some tackles, and great blocking right there by the Islanders, and Fife is going to dive into the end zone, and that's a Islander touchdown. A great drive. Wrecker Fife getting the job done for the Islanders. He marches it into the end zone for 6, and Gish is one extra punt away from tying this ball game.
There's a reason they call it a rivalry. These two teams are very evenly matched in terms of skill.
So the great punt by Fife and the great touchdown run by Fife get the Islanders on the board. And that extra point is going to be right down the middle. That is good.
And that was number 12, Cohen Evans.
I'm going to give some credit to the Bearcat field goal block squad they've got there. They've pushed over that entire field goal blocking unit, I should say. It's not an offensive line because they're not on offense, but yeah, they blocked everybody over. We saw last season several great blocks, very memorable blocks in games.
All right, so the Islanders strike. It's now 7-7 with just under a minute left in the first quarter. You're watching the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank.
There's no place quite like our middle of everywhere. We're the bank that'll help you celebrate everything it brings. Because we're more than a bank in Nebraska. We're Nebraska in a bank. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be.
And we're back here at the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank. The Islanders ready to kick it off back to the Bearcats after that impressive touchdown run. After getting good field position.
Yeah, back to receive the kick for the Bearcats. Number 10, Caden Miller, and number 0, number 0, Xander Rilling, who makes his varsity debut today.
Kicking it for the Islanders. That was number 41, Braxton Mendez on the kick. And
Good kick that goes out of bounds.
that's going to be a penalty.
The referee is talking to him. It looked like they didn't wait for a whistle.
Yeah, the ref had his arms out like, what are you doing? All right, so Mendez will kick this one again for the Islanders.
Part of me thinks the refs are getting slightly like, what's going on, guys? It's like the third or fourth time that we've had to call back a play now because we saw it before. They've had to bring back plays because whistles haven't been blown yet to start. So
Mendez is lined up. He's ready to kick. And that one's going to be a shorter kick. It's going to be It's going to be picked up by Caden Miller. And Miller's going to – he has some open space. He makes a cut, and he's still going. And he's going to be stopped at the 36-yard line. A great return right there by Caden Miller. The Bearcats are in business at the Island inside their own 36-yard line. All right, so the Bearcats looking to respond here after that Islander touchdown.
last drive, they didn't have much happen for them. They got pinned deep at their own 1, dodging safeties, so not much they could do.
All right, we have Riley Miller lined up in the shotgun. To his right will be Dutenhofer. He has 3 receivers to his right, 1 to his left. And Miller will take the snap, and he's going to throw it. And a great catch right there. That was number 16.
All right.
That was number 16. Hudson Bertrand on the catch right there for the Bearcats. An incredible catch. The fact that he kept the ball in his hands after getting his feet taken out from under him is just impressive. The body control for that is just so impressive. So after that great catch, it's 1st and 10 for the Bearcats at the 49-yard line. They're almost to midfield. And Miller is going to run it himself. It's going to be QB keeper. And Miller is going to go forward, and he picked up about
8 yards.
about
there.
8 yards right there on the play. So it'll be 2nd and 2 left for the Bearcats at the first down. Solid pickup right there by Miller. And that is the end of the first quarter. So we will take a break, and we will be right back with the second quarter of today's ball game. You're watching the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank.
Well, all my dreams are sweet.
Life is about waking up to a brand new dream. We're the local bank that's with you, wherever it leads, because we're more than a bank in Nebraska. We're Nebraska in a bank. Pinnacle Bank.
And we're back here at the Bearcat Sports Network, ready to start the second quarter. The Bearcats have the ball at the 44-yard line.
Ish.
Riley Miller is going to take the snap for the Bearcats, and he's going to keep it himself. He cuts upfield, and he's going to be past the first down, so he's going to have the first down secured for the Bearcats, and he's going to be down at the 37-yard line. Great pickup right there by the Bearcats.
Great 6-yard run for Miller there.
Bearcats have been playing pretty solid so far this game on both sides of the ball. Bearcats lined up in the gun. Parker Weiss to Riley Miller's right. And it's a play fake. And it's going to be a pass off to number 88. That is Max Myers making the catch. And that is a first down for the Bearcats.
11-yard catch for the Bearcats. Riley's now 3 for 4 on the night.
Pretty solid total right there for their first time starting in a varsity game.
Bearcats leaning pretty heavily on this, pretty heavily on the run here to start with. They've got.
Bearcats going to run quickly. They're going to hand it off to Parker Weiss. Weiss has some opening. He puts a stiff arm, and he's going to make a good pickup. And I think he got to the first down marker right there. And no, he's going to be short.
Oh,
Nope,
they're
first
moving.
down. First down. The refs tell the chains to keep moving. So the Bearcats will be down.
Right, I think they're giving him the 16-yard line.
Down at the 16.
There's a weird angle.
I think we'll give Parker about 11 yards there. A little bit weird, but.
Bearcats marching right now.
You guys can't see it, but Mitchell's doing stats, so he's making sure that we get the yardage.
I'm trying. I'm learning.
You are doing
Takes
a
a
try.
snap, and
doing a
he's
great
gonna indecisive. He's gonna be tracked down by the Islander defense. He's gonna be wrapped up, and he is hit hard and dropped for the sack.
He just needed a couple more seconds. He had Caden Miller on the out route there after the pump fake.
Second Islander sack of the game.
That seemed like the first time that Riley Miller was disrupted by the Islander defense besides the last sack.
He was sacked once on third down and on their second drive or whatever.
Yeah.
The first time he punted, where they shanked the punt.
2 and 15.
So the Bearcats lost yardage on the last play. Here they are. They're down at the 21-yard line. 2nd and 15 to go. Miller drops back. Looking to throw. He's going to pass it off to Parker Weiss. Parker Weiss has some open space in front of him, and he's going to get the first down, it looks like. No, it looks like he's going to be stopped short of the line to gain. But a solid pickup right there by Parker Weiss. So the Bearcats will have a short third down. It'll be about 3rd and 1.
14 yards there on the play.
All right, so the Bearcats, 3rd and 1. They're so close to the end zone here. Miller lines up in the gun. Weiss to his right. And he's going to hand it off again to Weiss. And Weiss got the first down, it looks like. And that it appears so.
Appears to be about 3 yards that they are giving him.
So the Bearcats move the chains once again. First and goal for the Bearcats.
Looks
9
like
minutes
they're-
and 3 seconds remaining in this second quarter.
Parker's averaging 5 yards a carry here after his seventh attempt there.
That's some solid numbers right there.
I'll take that every time.
Miller is going to option it to Weiss, and Weiss is going to dive forward into the end zone. And touchdown, Bearcats.
There is a
touchdown,
Wait,
Parker
there's
Weiss,
a-
but there's a
there's a
flag
flag
on the
thrown.
play. We'll see if the play stands. And if I had to guess,
I think it's on the defense. It's my guess. Oh, Riley put his hands up.
so it looks like this is the Bearcats are marching backwards. That's never a good sign.
Oh, they're starting him at the 20.
So it looks like there's going to be.
My guess is holding a 15-yard penalty. No, that's
Oh,
just foul.
yeah, that was holding. That was holding called.
Yeah, got something
Holding-
sports right.
Holding would have been 10 yards, so I'm thinking
Yeah, what the
maybe it's a
heck?
block and a back.
Something like that, but it looks like he did this.
See, that motion is pretty close to the block in the back, which is this. So I'm thinking, I'm just thinking I didn't quite see it right, and it's block in the back. Block in the back would be 15. Holding I believe, only should be 10.
The Bearcats, they look like they scored. The cheerleaders are running down the flags. They got to be gassed. I was just thinking about that. And a timeout will be called by the Bearcats, and we're going to take that timeout as well. You're watching the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank.
Well, all my dreams are sweet
Life is about waking up to a brand new dream. We're the local bank that's with you, wherever it leads, because we're more than a bank in Nebraska. We're Nebraska in a bank. Pinnacle Bank.
All right, and welcome back to the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank. The Bearcats, after a penalty, are now at the 20-yard line.
8:30 left to go in the first half. Tied 7-7. Great game so far.
One thing that always hurts when you're at goal. It's just so tough when you get a penalty like that and it forces you back. It makes it so much harder.
Yeah, you're just so close. And even there, we were in the end zone and got it called back.
Bearcats line up in the gun. Weiss to Miller's right. And it's going to be a handoff to Weiss. And Weiss is going to get a solid pickup right there. He's going to get down to about the 13-yard line, it appears.
About 8-yard run there. Boosting his average, not bad to bring it back from that penalty. Although it is now 2nd and 14. So
If Weiss keeps running the ball like that, it's going to be a lot easier for the Bearcats to operate their offense, which is a lot of running.
Parker and Riley both having pretty solid nights running the ball. Chris has been pretty average at the 3-2 range.
Myers goes in motion. Miller takes the snap. He's going to drop back, looking to throw. He's going to throw in the direction of Caden Miller. Caden Miller makes the catch, Randy Moss style, on the Islanders defender, and he's going to get the touchdown. What a catch right there by Caden Miller, and a great dime of a pass right there by Riley Miller. That was caught. That was thrown right in the spot where only Miller could. Miller to Miller. I just realized that. Only where Caden could get that ball. That was a great play right there by the Bearcats.
James Dakin out for the kick again.
Cash Rosenberry on the snap. Riley with the hold. Kick. It's up.
And
it's
that is good. So the Bearcats answer back after losing some yards on the penalty. They march right back down into the end zone for the touchdown.
And the cannon just went off.
Man, I love that cannon. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will take a short break and we'll be back with another kickoff. We will be back for the kickoff from the Bearcats, and we're going to take a short break. You're watching the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank. And we're back here at the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank. The Bearcats looking to kick it out back to the Islanders after marching down the field for a touchdown.
It's a one-score game right now. It has been a great first half so far. We got 7:41 left to go. Bearcats ready to send this one deep.
And Mitchell, that offensive drive was a very well put together drive by the Bearcats. What would you say was the key to that drive?
Even if the issues with the even with the issues of the what am I thinking of? Oh,
The
that
holding.
penalty down at the goal line. That didn't hold them back. Nothing held them back. Even if something didn't quite go right, they were able to get up, get going again, and immediately march back and respond with something good. Parker Wise after his touchdown getting called back decided he didn't want to end that out that way. Responds with a 7-8 yard run, and later on to set him up for the touchdown. So, I think it's plays like that are allowing them to be so good today, as they're not giving up at all.
All right, so after the good coverage right there by the Bearcats, the Islanders are down at the 20-yard line. Start this drive, Fife will hand it off, and he gets a solid pickup right there. That was number 3, Aiden McDermott on the carry for the Islanders.
Pickup of about 8 there. Not a whole lot of passing coming from the Grand Island offense so far today.
Fife lines up in the gun.
When they have passed, it has been extremely
snap.
accurate.
And the Bearcats, and he just tumbles forward and picks up the extra yards. He hit like 5 Bearcats. He'll hit the whole Bearcat line, and it just moved with him. That's some power right there. Great run right there.
Yeah, with the additive bonus of your offensive line, sets you up great for those inside runs.
Just a little bit of bully ball right there, you could say. So 1st and 10 for the Islanders. They're down at the 33-yard line of their own 33-yard line. Fife in the gun. High snap.
Rolls right.
And he's going to throw, and that's going to be a pass. And that's going to be a first down. That pass went to number 35, Cole Bauer. And that's going to result in a solid pickup for the Islanders.
48-yard line on the Bearcat territory.
They're not in Bearcat territory yet.
Wait. No, the Islander territory.
There you go.
I got this.
You can do it.
I got the holding call, right? So.
Yeah, I received a message telling me that holding calls can potentially be spot fouls. So.
And Fife hands it off, and that's going to be another. To
be honest, I thought the guy who ran through one of the blockers.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
I thought he was gone.
I thought number 60, Drew Haith, who's an offensive lineman, was the ball carrier, and I was like, whoa, he broke free for that one. But Bearcat defense put a stop to that play, and it's going to be 2nd and 5. So another decent pickup by the Islanders. Fife in the gun. Takes a snap. Bearcats blitzing. And that's going to be a quarterback keeper. And Fife has some open grass in front of him. He's still free. And he fumbles the football. And he's going to be stopped at the 20-yard line. Almost forgot to take the ball with him. And that was almost an unfortunate situation right there by the Islanders. Fife had a solid run nonetheless. And he's going to be down inside Bearcat territory at the 20-yard line.
If he didn't drop that football, that was a great
that had
touchdown.
potential to be a far longer play than what it already was.
Broke a couple tackles.
He could have gotten a touchdown right there.
And that is going to be a handoff. That handoff is going to go to Jace Chrisman on the carry. That's going to be a pickup of about, I want to say about
3
yards on the play. So 2nd and 7 coming up for the Islanders.
That's the 3rd fumble for the Islanders. Maybe they all had a movie night right before this with some really, really buttery popcorn.
Perhaps.
It's an hour bus ride. There's plenty of time to grab some snacks before this, you know.
Absolutely.
Fife lines up in the gun. Man goes in motion. Fife takes a snap. He's looking to throw. He's going to throw a lob out downfield, and that's going to be overthrown, incomplete. His target was Brandon Fox on that play.
Tanner Johnson playing great defense, playing the man and not allowing him to get a great chance at catching that ball, even though it was a little bit overthrown. Still wouldn't have given him a shot even if it was there.
The key to being a good cornerback is making sure you make contact and you stuff the route without actually interfering with the pass. And that was great defense right there by Johnson. So it's 3rd and 7 for the Islanders. Fife, that's been the gun. Bearcats showing blitz. And they will. And Fife is going to throw. And that's going to be caught. And that's a solid pickup right there by the Islanders. Carson leading on the catch. And he made the line to gain by 3 yards. So it'll be a first down. 1st and goal for the Islanders.
And if you look in the bottom leftish corner of your screen, you'll see our advisor is actually walking around down on the field. That is Mr. Goff. And he's getting some up-close footage of the game for us. And that'll be used in some really awesome videos later.
Yeah, shout out to the Bearcat Vision class, which I'm a part of.
I wish I was, but I had to do choir.
Bearcats looking like they're going to blitz, and they do. Fife is going to throw it off to the option, and number 10, Jace Chrisman
they're calling
runs it
it the
in for a touchdown. So the Islanders answer back. This has been a back and forth game, Mitchell. This is entertaining to watch.
Yep. He was able to fight through. The Bearcat tackles. He had one guy had him wrapped up, and he was able to fight through, get the extra 2 yards he needed to get into the end zone there. Although, we don't have replay, but if we did, you would have saw how Fife took a big hit and went down to the ground after that play.
And the Bearcats almost got to that one again, but that one is up and good. So the Islanders tie it back up at 14, and these Islanders are just full of grit and not giving up at all.
All right.
And we're gonna take a break, and the Bearcats will receive a kickoff from the Islanders. When we come back, you're watching the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank.
Welcome back to the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank. We have seen an amazing couple of quarters here. We have 4 minutes and 41 seconds left in the second quarter, and the Islanders are about to kick off to the Bearcats after a very quick return of a touchdown to the Bearcats' earlier touchdown in this quarter.
And the kick is off, and that's going to be like a squib kick right there, and Dudenhofer's going to pick it up for the Bearcats. And he's going to try to cut up field. He has some room, and he's going to get down to the 39-yard line. But hold on, there's a flag on the field.
I'm thinking, I believe it's a late flag for a block in the back.
Most likely.
I thought it was pushing from the shoulder, but I think they're going to say block in the back. We'll wait for the official word here, but yep, block in the back.
Illegal block in the back on the Bearcats. The Bearcats will take 15 yards off that. Nice return by Dudenhofer.
Down at the 15 isn't bad considering where they caught it.
So the Bearcats don't have the best field position to start off this drive at the 20-yard line, but
they've had worse.
Exactly. They've been pinned at the 1. So
this is enough safety room. They're not pushed. They don't have their backs up against the wall quite yet. I do want to remind everybody at halftime we will have the Hall of Fame ceremony during halftime here. So it is a special moment for people as we will a little extra today.
Bearcats are going to hand it off to Chris Dudenhofer, and Dudenhofer's going to go upfield. He's going to get a gain of about 2 on the play, and that was almost a late hit, but he controlled his balance.
And we'll also use halftime to talk about some of the other really cool activities going on at KHS, athletics, and otherwise. So stay tuned for that.
So the Bearcats with a pickup of about 2 on that play, so it's 2nd and 8. Bearcats break huddle. Miller. We don't talk about that.
Happens to the best of us.
Anyway, Miller lined up in the gun. Dudenhofer to his right. And he's going to pass it off to Caden Miller. Caden Miller juggles it and incomplete.
He's going to be thinking about that one for a little bit.
He had some open field in front of him.
Little designed wide receiver screen.
3rd and 8 for the Bearcats. Down at the 22-yard line. We got 4 minutes and 22 seconds remaining in this half. Bearcats lined up in the gun. Dudenhofer to the right. And we got 2 receivers to the left, 1 on the right. And Dudenhofer is going to run it, and he's gonna get stopped. Got his leg trapped by an Islander defender, and this is going to be a pickup of only about 2 yards. And there's going to be a penalty flag thrown. And
I think that's an after the play thing on GI. Kearney's kind of clapping there for it. Yeah, Dudenhofer had a gain of 3 there.
rivalries, I tell you what, they get intense. Sometimes smack is talked, and this stuff happens. Dudenhofer will come out. Parker Weiss will come in.
It's a misconduct penalty, I believe.
Yeah.
On 4, I think is what he gave to the side. 40 maybe? I don't know.
Sportsmanlike conduct.
I think.
45 maybe?
Well, nonetheless, it is going to be a penalty on the Islanders, and it's going to be a first down for the Bearcats.
15 yards.
So they're at the 40 now. Hey, they got those 15 yards back. We'll take it.
All right. First and 10 from the 40-yard line. Bearcats lined up in the gun. Miller takes a snap, drops back, looks, throws. He's going to throw it downfield, and he has a man, Caden Miller, in stride down to the 25-yard line. Oh, excuse me, to the 27-yard line is where the refs will spot the ball. And a great pass right there by Riley Miller to Caden Miller. And that connection has been the main target for Riley Miller.
Even through this glass, we can hear the fans going wild for that pass. It is just so nice to actually have people back in the stadium.
Riley Miller's pumped up. He was trying to get the rowdies going. We love to see it. And there's been a timeout called on the field, and that timeout will be taken by GI. So we'll take the timeout as well. You're watching the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank.
Well, all my dreams are sweet.
Life is about waking up to a brand new dream. We're the local bank that's with you, wherever it leads, because we're more than a bank in Nebraska. We're Nebraska in a bank. Pinnacle Bank.
And welcome back to the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank. And Riley Miller has lined up in the gun for the Bearcats, and that's going to be a handoff to Parker Weiss, and Weiss is going to fall forward for about a gain of 3 on that play. No, it's going to be a gain of 2, so 2nd and 8 for the Bearcats.
Claude to get that extra 2 yards, fight past the offensive line.
Ladies and gentlemen, we talked about how beautiful of a night it was for football. You cannot see it, but the clouds are looking beautiful. It's a beautiful sky painted to set the scene for this football game. Friday Night Lights is in full effect, ladies and gentlemen.
We got the wave going too.
Oh yeah.
Bearcats lined up in the gun. Parker Weiss lines up to Riley Miller's right. And Miller's going to keep it himself. He's going to throw, and it's going to be behind Max Myers, who was the target on that play. So after that unsuccessful pass, it's going to be 3rd and 8.
Riley is now 3 for 9 on the day.
Kind of slowed down after the first quarter, but that's okay.
But also with that slowdown, he threw that 33-yard bomb to Caden Miller. Miller to Miller.
Wouldn't that be 4 for 9? Did you count the completion?
1, 2, 3. Yeah, I've got 3.
Oh, okay.
3 incompletions.
All right.
6 for 9.
Riley Miller lined up in the gun.
Did I say 3 for 9?
No, yeah, you said 3 for 9.
Oh, well, that's my bad.
Well, Weiss gets the catch from Miller, and Weiss is going to take it down for a first down. The Bearcats are marching now. 3 minutes and 1 second remaining on the clock for the half. It's going to be 1st and goal for the Bearcats.
Be a 20-yard pickup on the screen pass.
Substitutions coming in for the Islanders.
Bearcats knocking on the door once again here.
Clock is ticking. 2:46 remaining in the game.
Bearcats have 5 seconds to get this play off.
Miller takes a snap.
Just gets it off before the play
And
clock.
he's going to keep it himself off the option. And he's going to run in for the touchdown, his second touchdown rushing for the day. And the Bearcats get on the board once again, 20-14.
11
And
yards.
there went the cannon.
Cap it off with the touchdown. Riley's having himself a day.
Every time I hear that, I didn't even know that that was a cannon until tonight. So up until this point, every time I've heard that cannon, it's been like, what? The roof is caving in.
Uh-oh, one of the senior flags have come off the pole. That's
Oh, you know
doing
what?
their best to recap.
James Dakin on for the extra point, and he's going to knock this one through, it appears. Yep, that one is
That's
good.
good.
So the Bearcats now lead by 7, 21-14 over Grand Island with 2 minutes and 31 seconds remaining in the first half. And we're going to take a quick
Cannon
break.
went off.
You're watching the
Yeah.
Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank.
There's no place quite like our middle of everywhere. We're the bank that'll help you celebrate everything it brings. Because we're more than a bank in Nebraska. We're Nebraska in a bank. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be. There's
And welcome back to the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank. The Bearcats coming off of a touchdown,
Holy crap.
and that was quite the drive by the Bearcats once again. Both teams, it's just been going back and forth, as we've been saying. The Islanders have 2 minutes and 31 seconds left in the half to answer. James Dakin is going to kick it off. That's going to be a really good kick by Dakin. That's going to be a touchback, so the Islanders will start at the 20-yard line to begin their drive. And the Bearcat defense, which has been pretty solid for the most part today, will take the field.
Now their defense does have 2 stops, 2 fumble recoveries. I'm not sure about the 2 stops. I meant fumble recoveries, but they might have 2 or 3 stops. Actually, they have more than 2 or 3 stops, but they have been pretty well. They have allowed some pretty close drives, and on those, they have scored off 2 of those. So right now, huge chance at D. Stop them. Bearcats defer, so they'll get it at the second half.
The Islanders will hand it off, and he has some room, and he's going to get the first down. On that carry was number 10, Jace Chrisman on the carry, and he's going to make a solid gain right there, picks up the first down. And the Bearcats didn't look like they had that much coverage on those run plays as they have in the last few drives.
You know, as for coverage there, he stumbled forward for like all 11 of those yards. He was on his hands and knees, lucky to get those alive.
Forward momentum gravity is amazing. That's going to be another handoff. That's also going to be to Kreisman. And Kreisman is going to get a stiff arm, and he rambles forward, and he's going to get about 5-6 yards on that carry. So a solid pickup right there by the Islanders once again.
We got a helmet adjust.
6 yards on that carry there.
2nd and 4 coming up for the Islanders. A lot of motion going on that Islander side. Fife in the gun. And motion goes his running back, and it looks like it's going to be no, it's not going to be a screenplay. It's going to be up the middle
Big
and
hit by the
incomplete.
Bearcats.
And a great defensive hit right there. That ball was targeted to Cole Thorne. And it's going to be incomplete.
Braden Anderson hit him hard enough to get that ball right out of his hands. Not anything he could do about that.
Most of the passes that we've seen from the Islanders have either been like really, really good and have been like just in that moment where you really need a pass, like a 3rd and 7, or they've been in a fumble. So it's kind of a 50-50 shot with the Islanders for their passing.
And Fife And he's going to hand it off on this play, and he is stuffed right
Right
to
at
the line
the
of
line.
scrimmage. Maybe a loss of a yard even. Great defense right there by the Bearcats. They read that play perfectly, and the Islanders will come on to punt.
That's going to send out the tricky punt unit with Fife back as punter.
How about Riker Fife in this game? I mean, excuse me, that's his brother. I'm so sorry. Chitin Fife.
It's hard not to think about Riker Fife because, that's Nebraska quarterback at one
Yep.
point.
Yep. Big Red runs deep in the state. Let me tell you one thing. So Fife. Oh, and it's a bad snap. He picks it back up. He's going to run it, and he actually got the first down. So a miscue turns into a plus for the Islanders.
Just gets it by 2 yards there. Bearcats
Wow.
were there, ready to give a big hit, but they were not there in time to stop him before that first down.
At this point, the Bearcats' goal is probably going to be to run the clock out.
Not allow them to score. They don't need
Yep.
to score. They've got the lead right now. They just cannot allow a score or a big play heading into halftime. Right now, they have the momentum on their side. They just need to 35 seconds left. Don't let them anything deep. Everything is going to go deep.
Bearcats blitzing. Fife is going to pass it. It's going to be
Intercepted
picked off.
Intercepted by Chris
Picked off by Chris
Dudenhofer.
Dudenhofer. Dudenhofer's going down the sideline. He's going to be down at the 34-yard, 31, 32-yard line.
He's there somewhere.
And what a play right there by Dudenhofer. Dudenhofer
see the
read that
Bearcats are
like a
packing
book
in.
right there.
Read that perfectly, cut, made the jump on the receiver, took it the other way, pushed out of bounds. I guess take away what I just said about scoring. You're within.
That's what you want to do right there.
You're at the 32-yard line. You've got 25 seconds. Take some shots at the end zone. Go
Yep,
up by
because
two,
the ball goes back to the Bearcats.
go up by 2 possessions here. You
Yep.
need.
The momentum's in your favor. You almost have to go for it at this point.
Yep.
Go into the locker rooms with a lot of energy and a lot of hope, and that's going to be a
Flag
flag on the
flag.
play. And I think that's either going to be, I think that might have been offsides because I saw number 30. He got
30.
going.
Yeah, he was in there quick.
But the Bearcats are
He was
walking
hit false
backwards,
start.
so somebody must have flinched on that offensive line.
First down.
So it'll be 2nd and 15
First
instead.
and 15.
Yep.
It's not.
First and
This one
15.
is not a loss
Excuse
of bound.
me.
It'd be a real punishment if you're getting 2nd down and
Oh,
15. off of
second,
that.
and they're giving them.
It's 1st and 15. They'll get from the Bearcat 37, 38. 25 seconds to go here in the second quarter.
Bearcats lined up in the gun. Weiss lines up on the right side. And Miller's going to look to throw. He's going to throw it out to
Miller
Caden Miller
space.
again, and he is
Dropped
He's
it.
open but dropped,
Right
incomplete.
through his hands. He had the space.
He tried to throw it right over his shoulder and just a little too far off to the right. And sometimes some throws like that are difficult to make for a quarterback.
That was over the shoulder. It was a pretty well-placed ball. It had him right up against the sideline.
He almost
Just
had
Miller
it.
was unable to hold on to that ball. Just didn't work out for him.
So after the incompletion, 2nd and 15 coming up for the Bearcats. Miller lines up in the gun. Weiss once again to his left. And Miller will drop back, looks to throw. He's going to throw for the deep ball. Miller, he's going to catch him in stride, and this one
Touchdown,
goes for a touchdown.
Bearcats.
Miller does not drop this one. He gets the score, and the Bearcats capitalize off the interception. And the Bearcats now have a 2-score lead with 12 seconds
Excellent.
remaining in the first half. Wow, what a turn of
Excellent
events.
self-redemption by Miller right there. That was beautiful.
38-yard bomb for a touchdown. He read him perfectly over the middle. Miller makes space on the defender. Bang,
Pat-
bang. 12 seconds left. That's what you want going into halftime.
That pass was on the money by Miller. And Dakin
The
powers that one through, and he actually, that's impressive. He went through, there's a little hole in the scoreboard, ladies and gentlemen. He just kicked through that and the field goals.
That's
anyway.
James Dakin right there.
Yep.
The combined power of Dudenhofer and the Millers, that was an amazing run for the Bearcats.
Tossing. Well,
I would rank that in my top 5 plays that I've ever seen the Bearcats do. Mhm.
That was a great series of events for the Bearcats, and we're going to take a short break. You're watching the Bearcats Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank. The Bearcats capitalizing off a turnover, and now they lead by 2 scores over the Islanders with 12 seconds remaining in the first half. James Nakin will be off to kick this one off to the Islanders. And it's up in the air. And this one is another solid kick, and this is going to be another touchback. Islanders will start off at the 20-yard line, and you have to think they probably aren't going to do much with 12 seconds. Maybe try to get like a trick play or something, try to get some momentum going into halftime. But at this point, I just see going into the locker rooms, regrouping, making adjustments, and going into halftime thinking about how they can improve off of this first half.
Personally, I really like those deep shots taken late in the half or whatever. If I'm Grand Island, I want to take a deep shot, get a whole bunch of momentum going in, maybe even a touchdown. Cut down that 2 touchdown lead just to 1.
It does not appear so that the Islanders will do anything. They'll just take a knee and go into the locker rooms. The Islanders looking to make some adjustments after the Bearcats capitalize off of miscues from the Islanders. So the Bearcats are hyped and excited going into their locker room. Islanders looking to make adjustments. Your score at the half is the Bearcats 28 and Grand Island Senior High 14. And we have a special announcement for halftime, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, we will take a quick break, but later during halftime we will have the Hall of Fame ceremonies with plenty of inductees this year.
We'll also keep the cameras running for the dance team and the band.
Yep.
So you guys,
The
for your halftime entertainment pleasure, we have the marching band and the dance team.
They are taking the field right now.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll cut off our mics until the Hall of Fame ceremony begins. And you're watching the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank. Okay, we're going. Okay, cool. Check. Okay, there we are.
All right, we're back.
All right, ready? 3.
We're live, Nolan.
Oh, well, okay. Well, welcome back to the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank, here for our Hall of Fame ceremony, and we're gonna read off the inductees for today, for today's ceremony. We're gonna start with a name that's quite familiar in Kearney legend, Brett Maher. Brett Maher is a 2008 Kearney High grad, completed an outstanding high school athletic career in the short time he was at KHS. He excelled in all 3 sports in which he participated. Among his most notable accomplishments included being named All-State in football, an honorable mention All-State in basketball, as well as Kearney Hub Regional Athlete of the Year in 2008. Brett was named the 2008 Super State Kicker by both the Omaha World Herald and the Lincoln Journal-Star. During his senior year, Brett was an all-class and Class A star pole vault champion, where he set the state meet and all-class pole vault record of 16 feet and 2 inches. He was also the all-class in Class A long jump champion that year. Brett went on to have a very successful post-high school athletic career. He was a 4-year letter winner for the University of Nebraska Cornhusker football team, where he won the Bacon-Anderson Big Ten Kicker of the Year 2 times, the Edelman Fields Big Ten Puncher of the Year, and the Husker record for the most points by a kicker. He has followed his Husker career as a kicker in the National Football League and the Canadian Football League, kicking for various teams. During this time frame, Brett has kicked an NFL record 3 field goals over 60 yards in a career, and an NFL record 2 field goals over 60 yards in a season. He was also a CFL East Division All-Star one of those years. Brett's home address is in Lincoln, where he stands in his, where he and his wife Jenna are raising 3 young daughters. And after Brett, we have Maggie Maher-Long. Maggie Maher-Long graduated from KHS in 2009, was a very successful 3-sport athlete at Kearney High School during her junior and senior years. She was a 2008 All-Class and Class A state champion in pole vault at the track meet her junior year. She followed that accomplishment by completing an undefeated senior year in pole vault and won the Class A pole vault in the state meet. She set the school record for in pole vault during that time. Maggie was also a starter on the volleyball and basketball teams. One of her favorite memories was the team winning the district basketball tournament her junior year and then winning their first round game at state. Maggie was named Kearney Hub Female Athlete of the Year in 2009. Following high school, Maggie went on to have a successful career at the University of Nebraska as a pole vaulter on the UNL track and field team. She was a 4-year letter winner in the vault at UNL and was a pole vault regional qualifier in 2012, 2013, and 2014. During those same 3 years, she was a medal winner in the Big Ten Indoor and Outdoor Conference vault. Maggie was a special education teacher at 2 different elementary schools in Elkhorn from 2014 to 2019 and served as an assistant pole vault coach at Elkhorn High School in 2015. Currently, Maggie and her husband, Jake Long, a former Husker football player, live in Durham, North Carolina with their 2 young sons. And now we have Casey Nelson, part of the class of 2002. Casey Nelson graduated from Kearney High School in 2002. He was a very successful 4-year starter on the KHS tennis team and accomplished outstanding performances at the state Class A tennis championships. During his freshman year, he reached the quarterfinals at #1 doubles in Class A with his playing partner Brandon Ernst. His sophomore year, he finished 4th in Class A #1 singles, and the team placed 4th. As a junior, he was the Class A #1 singles champion, which helped the team finish 3rd overall. Casey capped his Kearney High tennis career by finishing as runner-up in Class A #1 singles his senior year. The team ended up with a 4th place finish that fall. After high school, Casey went on to get a Bachelor of Science degree in economics from the Wharton Business School of the University of Pennsylvania, a research university in Philadelphia. He worked as an analyst for HBK Capital Management, then founded Alistair Capital Management. Casey currently lives with his wife, Jacqueline, and their 3 children in Dallas, Texas. And now we have Kelsey Peterson Tutkin. Kelsey Peterson Tutkin was a very successful volleyball player and track athlete at Kearney High School during her decorated career. She was named the Lincoln Journal Star Super State First Team and the Associated Press All-State Class A First Team in volleyball as a senior in 2007. She was the Kearney Hub Territory Volleyball Player of the Year and played in the 2008 All-Star Volleyball match. Besides excelling in volleyball, Kelsey was a Class A state high jump champion at the state track meet in 2007 and 2008 and runner-up in 2006. She also finished 5th in the long jump in 2007. She set the school record in the high jump at 5 feet 8 inches. Kelsey continued her successful volleyball and track career as a scholarship athlete at Iowa State University from 2008 to 2012. She was a 4-year starter on the volleyball team and 1 year in track and field. She was named as Academic All-Big 12 and won the Iowa State Scholar Athlete Award during her career at ISU. In 2011, she ranked 3rd in the Big 12 in hitting percentage and was involved in 4 NCAA tournament appearances, in which she started in 12 games. After her career at Iowa State, Kelsey went on to play professionally in the USA Nationals from 2012 to 2015 and played professionally in Switzerland from 2012 and 2014, where she was the team captain. Kelsey has worked on as an account executive in software and is married to Todd Tutkin, who is also a student athlete at ISU. They have 1 child and currently living in Dripping Springs, Texas. And now we have the 1982 girls basketball team. And the 1982 girls high school girls basketball team finished the season with a 21-0 record, which included the Class A state championship. The members have set preseason goals, which included winning their district and state tournaments and going undefeated. The team was ranked number 1 in the state from the beginning of the season to the end of the season. It was also ended up ranked in the top 25 of the USA Today in their final national season poll. This team was known for scoring points created by their defense. In the state title game, they created 11 turnovers in the 4th quarter alone to help to secure a win against Lincoln Northeast in the score of 43-42. They also defeated Bellevue East 43-40 in the semifinal game, and Omaha Burke 35-21 in the first round game. The team was inducted into the Nebraska Sports Hall of Fame in 2006 as their silver anniversary team. Team members included statisticians, managers and statisticians, Trish Camp, Denise Davidson, Bernadette Engels, Jolyn Flint, Cindy Forbes, Autumn Fife, Kim Goki, Jana Holmes, Stacy Emming, Wendy Lantis, Linda Moybrook, Linda Park, Jamie Sherrich, Sean Scriven, Darla Stab, and Brenda Ward. The team was coached by Ross Armstrong and assistant coach Betty Lee Lewis. And now we have Tom Camp, a volleyball coach from 1977 to 1984. Tom Camp first became a teacher and coach in 1976 for the public schools and was first known as Kearney when it was first then known as Kearney Junior High. He left a successful volleyball program in Pleasanton coaching from 1969 to 1975. After coaching 9th grade sports at KHS for 1 year, he was asked by Principal McCure and Athletic Director Dennis Long to become head coach of the struggling tennis team, volleyball team at KHS. His first KHS volleyball team in 2007 had a losing record but had a number of close 3-set losses. This was his last losing team at KHS. In fact, in the very next year, Coach Camp's 1978 team won the state championship and posted a 16-3 record that season. Kearney defeated Fremont in the first round in 2 sets. Omaha Marion by 2 sets in the semifinals, and a very talented Grand Island team by 2 sets in the final. Remember, in those days, sets are played to 15. There was no rally scoring, and you had to win by 2 points on your serving possessions. Tom had a 202 to 71 win-loss record in his 8 years at KHS and 7 years at Pleasanton. His 1978 team is in the KHS Athletic Hall of Fame. At KHS, 6 of his 8 teams qualified for the state tournament, and his teams in both schools had winning records 14 out of the 15 years with him as head coach. Coach Camp was named the Nebraska Volleyball Coach of the Year in 1978, and he coached 8 all-state volleyball players from Kearney High School during his tenure. After his retirement from coaching in 1984, Tom went on to be the building principal at Kenwood Elementary from 1985 to 1995 and principal at Meadow Lake Elementary from 1995 to 2006. Tom and his wife Peg currently reside in Mesa, Arizona. And now we have William B. Kearney, a principal from 1983 to 2005, and he is being inducted for meritorious service. William Kearney, a.k.a. Bill, Dr. K, or BK, was a high school teacher in Lincoln, Nebraska, and served as a principal in Holdridge, Nebraska, and Woodland Park, Colorado. In 1983, he was appointed as the assistant principal at Kearney High School and was named the principal of KHS in 1987. He served in that position until his retirement in 2005. He has the second longest tenure as a principal of KHS. After retiring from Kearney High School in 2005, he served on the Nebraska Council of School Administrators as the new principal liaison for Nebraska educators until 2010. Bill served as a very caring and professional mentor for many people in the new principal program, as well as being a mentor for many administrators who went on to other positions within the Kearney Public Schools or any other districts throughout the state. The KHS Athletic Hall of Fame has been dormant for a number of years after its inception. Bill played a significant role in getting the Hall of Fame restarted and continued to serve as co-chair to the Athletic Hall of Fame Committee until 2009. His tireless efforts helped many individuals and teams the recognition they may not have received without his efforts. While principal at KHS, he played a significant role in 2 major educational endeavors, moving the 9th grade to the high school and implementing the block scheduling. Dr. Kearney is a staunch believer in the value of participation in high school activities and rarely missed any high school events during his tenure. He was the track announcer at KHS track meets for over 30 years. Bill and his wife Trish currently live in Elkhorn. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2021 Kearney High School Hall of Fame class. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is the class for the 2021 Hall of Fame inductees, and we applaud them for all the things they have done for the school and what they've done in our community. And ladies and gentlemen, we will take a quick break and we'll be back. No, we're still going?
Yep, we're still going.
All right.
And now it's time for the update on the other activities that are going on at Kearney High. So the Bearcat Athletics weekly report starts off with softball. The Lady Bearcats are off to a slow start at 1-4 under new coach, but their losses are against teams with a combined record of 14-2. Tough schedule. Tomorrow, the ladies travel to Lincoln to take part in the LPS softball invite. Good luck.
And in boys tennis today, the boys opened their season with a double duel against Holdridge and McCook. Bearcats came out on top of McCook 6-3. McCook is really a perennial power here, so that's actually a very good win for the Bearcats. They come out 6-3, and then Holdridge sweep for the Bearcats 9-0. So Bearcats start the season 2 big dual wins for the Bearcats in boys tennis.
All right, and if you tuned in last night, you caught the first Lady Bearcats volleyball game of the season under the new head coach, Thiessen Anderson. The 9th-ranked Bearcats won their home opener against Lincoln North Star 3-1. They are on the road tomorrow, heading to Norfolk, where they will compete at the Norfolk Invite. Their next home match is not until September 7th, when they will host Fremont. Our boys and girls cross-country teams do not start their competitive season until next Saturday, September 4th, when the boys head to Omaha. The Lady Bearcat golf team competed today in a duel at Awari Dunes. As soon as we get scores from that, we will let you know. And the other big activity that is starting to take shape is the Fall Play, which is a Midsummer Night's Dream, one of the most well-known comedies by the bard himself, William Shakespeare. I, Alex Lane, am participating in that, and I'm playing the role of Peter Quince, a writer who writes a show for the Duke and Duchess of Athens. And once tickets go on sale for that, we will let everybody know.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting ready to kick off for the second half. Here we go. The Islanders are going to be kicking off to the Bearcats to start off the second half. And that's a solid kick. It's going to be picked up by Caden Miller. And Miller is going to take it upfield. He has some open space in front of him. He powers his way forward to the 35-yard line. A solid return right there by the Bearcats. And Mitchell, getting into the second half, what are some key points for the Bearcats to keep moving forward in this second half?
Well, first off, like we saw there, unlike our rest of the kickoffs there, that was not the Xander Ruling was the one to take that one. We're seeing a lot of young talent coming into this game today. Other than 3 players, Caden Miller, DeAndre Ndugwa, and Parker Wise, those are the only 3 returning starters. Other than that, everybody else is brand new. We've got sophomore Xander Ruling, who just had that 30-yard return, and so lots of new talent here.
Oh, and a hard-hitting tackle right there by the Islanders. Parker Weiss was the ball carrier right there, but it's going to lose yardage for the Bearcats. They lost about 3 yards on that play. Great coverage right there by the Islanders. And, Mitch, what do you think is going to be some key points for the Islanders to try to get back into this football game?
Islanders, so pretty much they need to take shots, have a little bit better on the defense there. But as soon as, because I know right at the end they kind of had too deep there. They should have had another guy back for the end, but that's gone. That moment, that opportunity is lost. Kind of just defense needs to be a little bit better. Kearney's been its own worst enemy.
And a double reverse right here. And Ruling still on his feet. He fumbled the ball, and that's going to be recovered by the Islanders. And that's a miscue by the Bearcats. The Islanders take over at the 14-yard line in Bearcat territory, and that is a big mishap for the Bearcats.
The Islanders are absolutely celebrating right now. That is probably the best for them. It's the best placed fumble the Bearcats could have possibly had. They are very close to the end zone, especially with the Bearcats having a 2-score lead. The Islanders really need to score right now.
The Islanders needed some momentum in their favor, and here they are. They have some momentum right now. They are knocking on the door all of a sudden, and Fife is in the gun for the Islanders, and he's going to take it himself, and he's going to be wrapped up. He's going to be wrapped up and taken down by
Dudenhofer.
Yes, that is Chris Dudenhofer on the sack for the Bearcats.
That's what we know about the Bearcats. They do not go down without a fight.
Not at all. So a loss of yards right there. They'll be down at the 17-yard line. So second and 15 to go.
14.
And Fife is going to roll out. He's going to try to move around in the pocket, and he's going to throw it out. He's just going to smartly throw it away. That is a very smart play right there by Fife.
Had the Bearcats stumble up there. Other than that, that would have been a huge sack for the Bearcats if he hadn't quite stumbled there. But right after he stumbled, he had 2 other Bearcat defenders there, forcing Fife to throw away that ball.
A very savvy play right there by Fife. So the Islanders looking at the sideline, waiting to get the play here. And how about Riker Fife in this game? Excuse me, my gosh, I keep on saying that. I'm so sorry.
It's only twice.
Chitin Fife. And there's a timeout being called, a little bit of miscommunication and confusion going on with the Grand Island sideline. So we will take a timeout. The Islanders take a timeout, and we will take that timeout as well. You're watching the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank.
Well, all my dreams are sweet.
Life is about waking up to a brand new dream. We're the local bank that's with you, wherever it leads, because we're more than a bank in Nebraska. We're Nebraska in a bank. Pinnacle Bank.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank. And the Islanders are down at the 17-yard line. It's 3rd down.
You know, it's not often that we can hear the crowd from in here. It is.
And Fife looks, throws, and that is caught in a great pass and a great catch to Fife. And that, on the catch, that was, see, I can't see. Teammates are swarming him. I'm trying to figure out who caught that football.
I can't even tell.
I don't know.
And
I'm thinking it would have been.
That was number
maybe?
15.
Yep.
Number 15. Wait, Chiton Fife.
I'm thinking it was 12 then.
Oh, 12. Cohen Evans on
We
that
think
catch.
it was 12.
We're not sure, but we gave it our best shot. He fell on his back.
Nonetheless, the Islanders scored, and they are now 1 score away. They strike early in this second half, and the kick is up, and it is good. So the extra point goes through, and then all of a sudden it's a 28-21 game with 10 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. So the Islanders strike fast, and all of a sudden the momentum is kind of swaying in favor of Grand Island, and we will take a short break. You're watching the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank. All right, welcome back to the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank. The Islanders looking to kick it back to the Bearcats after that touchdown pass.
One thing as we look here back at the first half, didn't have much time to do it on the first drive after that fumble by Xander Ruling. Although, looking at some highlights from the first half here, Riley Miller, 153 yards, 8 for 12, averaging just over 19 yards a pass. He also tossed on 2 passing touchdowns on top of that. He, of course, had 2 more rushing touchdowns.
And an interesting little pooch kick right there by the Islanders, but it is unsuccessful in their intentions. And the Bearcats will take over at the 36-yard line.
Another thing, Riley Miller's leading receiver right now is Caden Miller, 95 yards, 2 touchdowns, 4 receptions, 23 and 3/4 yards a reception. Not a bad night for either of them.
Caden Miller is having himself a ball game right now. Riley Miller drops back, throws, and he's going to target Caden again. And Caden is going to stay on his feet. He's determined to keep moving forward, and he got about 6 yards on that play. So it'll be 2nd and 4 coming up for the Bearcats. Solid pickup right there, and looks like Miller is down, it looks like, and that is not a good sign for the Bearcats. He has been a main contributor, as you just said, for this offense. And we're going to take a short break, and we're going to
Bringing the camera away. It's our policy to not show any injured players.
All right, so we're going to take a short break after this for this injury timeout. You're watching the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank. And welcome back to the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank. An update on the injury of Caden Miller. It appears that he's just cramping. He's walking off on his own power, probably just going to get stretched out. So that's great news for the Bearcats. Meanwhile, Riley Miller is going to take this. He's going to run it himself. He's going to get the first down and just a little bit more on that carry. And he made a nice run right there. That's going to be a run out to
for 7 yards
the 48-yard line. So first down and 10 for the Bearcats.
Nice run of 7 to pick up the first down. Hitting GI defenders on his way there.
The Bearcats trying to respond after that Islander touchdown. I feel like if you're the Bearcats right now, since you have a lead, but now you only have a one-score lead, it can't play conservative, but you can't play overly aggressive either. I feel like you need Parker Weiss rips off a big run right here, and he's going to go down at the 28-yard line on a great pickup right there by the Bearcats. And now Miller is down. He's cramping too, and we need some H2O in the bodies of our players right now. But a solid run nonetheless by
Riley Miller.
No, that was not.
Oh, not Ryan. I was hearing Miller, so I was ready for
that
Parker
was
Weiss,
Parker Weiss on the carry. As I was saying, the Bearcats, I feel like, just need to manage the clock and just be smart with time management. I mean, given that they only have a one-score lead, you still got to be careful and conservative. You can't allow many mistakes. And Parker, he's kind of has a limp to his walk.
That happens after cramp sometimes.
Yeah. So Dutenhofer will check in for him, and the Bearcats are now 1st and 10 from the 29-yard line. Clock is running, and the Bearcats are ready to go. They break out of their huddle. Riley Miller in the gun. In motion goes a man. Miller is going to fake the handoff to Dudenhofer. He's going to keep it himself, and he's going to get stuffed. Not until he gained about 2 yards on that carry.
It looks to me about a run of 1, just getting past the line of scrimmage there.
And indeed, it is a gain of only. Wait, did they even give him
Back
yardage?
to the line of scrimmage.
They just got him back to the line of the scrimmage. Never mind, ladies and gentlemen. So 2nd and 10 coming up for the Bearcats. Miller lines up in the gun. Dutenhofer to his right. 3 receivers. Now there's 1 receiver going in motion. That is Jack Dahlgren in motion. Miller is going to make a quick pass, and that's going to be picked off. And that was read perfectly by the GI defense. And he's going down the field, and he's going to be taken down at the 30-yard line.
By Riley Miller.
And Riley Miller stops the guy who picked off his ball. And that's gotta hurt the Bearcats. You go 2 straight turnovers right there. And that's the momentum that they had going into the half after that touchdown pass to Caden Miller just kind of fizzled out ever so much. And now the Islanders have the momentum in this ball game. Bearcats need to make a stop here. They need to keep the Islanders at bay with this 1-score lead. Fife will line up in the gun. He's got 2 receivers to his right, 1 to his left. Bearcats look like they're going to blitz. No, they're going to, and it's going to be a handoff. And he's going to power his way forward, but then he's going to be stopped by a herd of Bearcats. And he's still going.
His offensive line and receivers came in to push forward.
It's going to be down at the 14-yard line. It's a solid pickup. That run was by Aiden McDermott. So the Islanders trucking forward right now. 1st and 10 for the Islanders. And they have the ball down at the 15-yard line. 8 minutes, 17 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. Fife, Bearcats showing blitz, and they will. And that play, he broke the tackle.
Beats him in the backfield, but just able to bring that one through. Ball may have come out at the end.
It looked like number 50. Excuse me. Where's the? Looked like number 50 Carter Habitzel almost wrapped him up right there.
I'm going to go with it was not Carter Hablitzel because he is a sophomore.
Ah.
So I'm going to go with that's not him.
Ladies and gentlemen, I cannot read.
You read the right number, but I don't think we got the right number off the field.
And Fife will hand it off. Once again, that goes to McDermott, and McDermott picks up a few yards right there. So it will be third down and 7 to go. So pick up only 2 yards on that play.
These are the kind of plays that we've seen Gish thrive on. They always throw good passes on third and anything longer than 5.
Cade Miller's up and doing some sprints on the sideline, so it looks like he'll be ready to go soon.
Fife takes a snap. He's looking to throw. He's going to scramble. Now he's going to throw, and that's going to be a touchdown catch. And the Bearcats are now tied up with the Islanders. Cole Bauer makes the catch for the Islanders. Touchdown, Grand Island. Wow, what a turn of events in this third quarter. It's now a tied ball game.
Yeah, like I said earlier, they wouldn't call it a rivalry if the teams weren't evenly matched.
And a series of unfortunate events for the Bearcats leads to Islanders scores.
Except we're not written by Lemony Snicket.
And the kick is up, and it is that was good.
That was good.
Good, but lower than all the rest of the kicks, so not quite a normal kick for them.
So the Islanders tie it up at 28 apiece with 6 minutes and 52 seconds remaining in the third quarter. The Bearcats need to get some momentum on offense. We're going to see them on offense when we come back. You're watching the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank.
No place quite like our middle of everywhere. We're the bank that'll help you celebrate everything it brings. Because we're more than a bank in Nebraska. We're Nebraska in a bank. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be.
And welcome back to the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank. The Islanders tie it up at 28, and they're going to kick it back to the Bearcats. And the Bearcats need to get something going. They need to get some momentum going their way after the Islanders just stole all the thunder that the Bearcats had going into the half.
Bearcats had a great drive going there. They're going to try that pooch kick again. Dudenhofer with the reception.
And he's going to try to take it out, and he's going to keep going. And that looked like a horse collar. I'm surprised the refs did not throw anything right there.
It looks like they just got the jersey there, so he was still clean. As long as he doesn't grab the pad, then he's good.
Dudenhofer was looking at the refs he thought that was a horse collar.
Yeah, he just gets that tight jersey pulled, and anything from the back feels different.
The good news is that Caden Miller is back into the ball game for the Bearcats.
Parker's up and also running along the sideline, so it looks like we'll have both of them back soon.
And Miller, there's a flag on the play, and this looks like it's probably going to be a false start on the Bearcats.
I can see how they saw that, but I thought it was like pretty bang. But
and that's going to be a 5-yard penalty, so it'll be 1st and 15 now for the Bearcats, and that's gonna hurt their situation.
Bearcats having a pretty rough start to the second half. They had a decent drive going on their second drive of the half. And Riley Miller was picked off for the first time tonight. We had our first fumble of the night on the first drive, and now we have a false start to open up the third drive. So Bearcats not having a great second half right now.
Miller takes the low snap. He's going to take it himself. He's going to run it up the gut, and he's going to get about
7
yards on that carry. So a solid pickup, making up for lost ground right there.
They're giving him 2 and 8.
2nd and 8 coming up for the Bearcats. Jack Dahlgren will check in. All right, the Bearcats line up in the gun. Dudenhofer to the right of Riley Miller. Got 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right.
Looking at the flags on the ends of the goalpost, and I can see why they're doing running plays. The wind is picking up, and it is against the Bearcats' current position.
A solid pickup right there by Dudenhofer. That was a solid pickup of about
6 yards.
About
there.
6 yards, yeah. About 6 yards on that play.
3rd and 2. I got it right that time.
3rd and 2 for the Bearcats. Bearcats need to convert. You almost feel like they need – this is a big play right
This
now
is
for the
something
Bearcats
they
at this
need-
point in the
they
game.
need to show they can get back into this game and show that they're still alive on offense.
Bearcats. He's going to throw to Caden Miller, who gets back into the game, and he's going to get down for the first down at the 39-yard line. So a good
5-yard
pickup right there
reception there.
by the Bearcats.
As we have an Islander down on the field.
And he's also cramping. So here we are. Drink some water, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a hot day. And we're going to and while they're stretching out that young man, we're going to take a quick break. You're watching the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank.
Well, all my dreams are sweet.
Life is about waking up to a brand new dream. We're the local bank that's with you, wherever it leads, because we're more than a bank in Nebraska. We're Nebraska in a bank. Pinnacle Bank.
And we're back here at the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank. After that injury timeout, the Bearcats have 1st and 10 inside their own 41-yard line. In motion goes a man, Riley Miller. He's going to hand it off. And this is somebody new, and he's going to break off a run, and he's going to go down to the 45-yard line.
I think that was 31, Ethan Kowalik.
Ethan Kowalik on the carry right there.
Yeah, that's a 5'10 junior.
And ladies and gentlemen, we did see a little bit of lightning out there in the distance, but don't be worried. I'm sure the officials of this game are keeping watch over that, so stay tuned for that. Maybe check your radars and tweet us at KHS Media Pro and let us know how that's going.
Yep.
Because we'd love to know. We are unable to do that because we need to be dialed in on this football game.
As Mitchell is pulling it up.
I have to know.
Fair enough. It's Nebraska.
Well, even then, we can't really know.
Miller in the gun. He's going to take the snap. He's going to hand it off. And that's going to be Kowalik again. And Kowalik racing forward. He's going to be tripped up. It looks like a line got him. We have another Islander down. And that's not good. That's not what you want to see. You hope this is just a cramp after all the injuries that we've currently seen. It is a cramp. And good sportsmanship by DeAndre Ndugwa helping out his opponent. That is true sportsmanship right there. And I applaud DeAndre Ndugwa in midst of this rivalry to keep his opponent going.
I do have to say one thing. Looking at the radar here, it's nothing here. Closest thing we got, anything popping up, is Gibbon. So
Haha, that's where I live.
yeah, we are
I have to
fine.
drive into that, Mitchell.
It's nothing. It was as tiniest patch of green on the radar. We are going to be fine. We're going to keep playing.
All right, so good news, ladies and gentlemen. We are still playing football, and that injured player for the Islanders was number 70, Jaden Chrisman. He's walking off the court. He's a big guy, and he's been going in the trenches the whole day, and I can imagine he's been beat up. Thus is the life of a lineman.
No kidding.
We need more appreciation for our big guys up front. Let me tell you one thing.
I will attest to that. I played offensive line last year in 8th grade, so I will attest to that. That more appreciation.
I want to give some appreciation to centers because
Even
you know,
better.
you think that all they have to do is hike the ball, but then they're supposed to defend against what is usually going to be the biggest guy on the flag thrown. Other team. Mm-hmm.
Very confident on that other team there.
Yes.
I will also take the center praise, as I was also a center.
Yep.
That
I
was my main position.
The one and only time I went to football camp, I was the only girl at football camp, and they had me play center, and I was up against this kid that was maybe like 6 inches taller than me, and my immediate plan was get out of the way.
Fair enough.
You are smaller, much lighter, and you don't want a concussion at age 7.
You get a little creative when it comes to seeing some big dudes across from you, because especially on when centers will go against the nose tackles, which are oftentimes the biggest dudes on the line, defensive line there. So they will. I know there's some creative ways where you can kind of like let them through and then push them back a little bit.
Jack Dahlgren on the reception.
Oh yeah, he's going.
He's stuffed in that great defense right there by the Islanders. And it was 2nd and 7, but now it's going to be a loss of a lot more. And we have another Islander down, but he's on the sideline. I think he can make his way back over there.
Oh, I just saw what's a Bearcat sign from the Islanders Rowdies. I don't even really know what a Bearcat is.
I was told Rowdies are the only group that's the only Rowdies group, and I was frowned upon for calling that another group.
Okay. Mm.
Oh, yes, they're the hooligans. That's what that sign
The
says.
hooligans.
The student section. I'm just going to
Yes.
call them that.
Yep. We're the
I kind of like that, the hooligans.
yeah. Why aren't we the
hula, like hula dance Islanders.
Oh
Hey,
my God.
if y'all got that reference, good for you back
Nice.
home.
Why
Shout out to Mr. Goff for putting that one together.
Okay, there were
Thank you,
actually
Mr. Goff.
2 Islanders down on that play, as they just pulled off another one. So
All right, so the Bearcats now have 3rd and 12 coming up. This is going to be a long 3rd down. Miller in the gun. Dudenhofer to his left. He's going to drop back, looking to throw. It's going to be a long pass. He's going to hit Caden Miller, and he made the catch. Wait.
he's got the
No,
ball.
he made the
Got the
catch.
ball.
He
They're
made the
gonna
catch.
say- they're gonna
What a
say it's a
catch right there by
catch.
Caden Miller. That man has
First
great
down,
hands. Oh,
Bearcats.
my goodness.
They
Yep.
say catch,
Yep.
it's good. First down, Bearcats.
He's down at the 32-yard line, and what a play right there by the Bearcats. That's the kind of momentum builder that the Bearcats needed in this ball game.
My goodness, he has had some amazing catches today. He had
I'm
that
so glad
one where
he's
he
back.
pulled it from like the opponent's hands in the end zone. He has had that one where he's like diving for it and grabbing it again. Props to him.
Riley Miller in the gun. He's going to fake the handoff to Dudenhofer. He's going to keep it himself. He's going to run forward, holds onto the ball, and he's going to get the first down, it appears, or else he's going to be 1 yard short. But a solid run right there by Riley Miller, picking up the big yards. He's going to be 3 yards short, it appears. So 2nd and 3 coming up for the Bearcats. Oh, wait, that's a 2. 2nd and 2 for the Bearcats.
Now, I don't know how much temperature affects cramps. I feel like it has a little bit of effect. I'm getting a nod that it has a huge effect. Since the start of the game, it's dropped 10 degrees. And we've got winds now, too, so it is.
Mitchell Brent, ladies and
I was
gentlemen.
told it was still hot, so.
And we have a flag on the play, and I believe that is another false start, and you don't want to see
false
that
start.
after
Oh,
that
no.
big play. But, Mitchell, you've done a fantastic job. You've been dialed into the
Yeah.
weather and the stats. Props to you, my guy.
I've tried,
He's multitasking.
so
I'm just sitting here pushing buttons.
I would say that's still a pretty
Hey,
important job.
every person in this room matters.
We value every.
They play such a big role. Shout out
Except maybe Allie.
and shout out to Kearney High School for giving us this opportunity to do this. Shout out to Strive. Like the opportunity that we've had to do this is so great, and we're so fortunate to have this opportunity. As Riley Miller juggles a snap, and he's going to look to throw. He rolls out to his right. He's going to throw, and that pass is going to be caught. That's caught. That's going to be caught by number 36. That's number 36, Tanner Johnson, making the catch.
11 yards on that catch there.
I'm kidding, Allie.
We value our camera people.
Yes.
Absolutely.
She's
Without
doing,
them, we have no video.
she's doing a great job. We still don't let her on mic, though.
So the Bearcats have a 1st and 10 now.
We're full on mics. We only got 4 slots.
Down on the 18-yard line, inside of Islander territory. They're moving forward. Man goes in motion. That's Max Myers. And that's
Low
a low
snap
snap.
by
Another
Palmer.
back-to-back bad snaps. And that is going to –
I
and
think he
Miller's going to
just-
take it, and he's going to run
think
for –
just
he's just
get
going to
the-
meet at the line of scrimmage. And Miller is laying on the
No,
ground.
they took it back. Oh, wait.
Be about -1.
And Miller is on the ground, and that will mean if it is a cramp,
That will bring in Trayvon Beckman.
Trevin Beckman coming in for the Bearcats at quarterback, if that is just a cramp.
Number 6. He is a junior, a 6 foot, 158-pound junior.
Little taste of probably what is to come next year, for perhaps for the Bearcats early in the season.
I am going to defend Wade's snap on that first one. I think the time before it was just I'm thinking the snap before it was just a fumble, didn't quite catch it. This time it was a bit low. He was thankfully able to get pretty close to the back to the line, so it wasn't a huge damage. Although now Riley is down by the looks of it. He is cramping as well.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a short break while that cramp is dealt with, and we will be back.
He's up.
And he's up, so I think we will stick around for a little bit. He's walking off on his own power. That's always a good sign. No matter which team you're on, this is a good sign.
We'll give the quick statement. We are not doctors, so we have no idea what they've got. It's only guesses from up here.
In our
I can tell you after 8 more years of schooling.
you're going to be a doctor?
I hope so.
All right.
Yeah.
Props to you.
Awesome. That's some dedication right there.
Yeah.
All right, so we got 2nd and 11 coming up for the Bearcats after that loss of yardage. And Beckman is coming in as quarterback.
Yeah, bring me
His
back
first
in.
varsity plays.
Yeah, bring me back in 8 years, and I'll make the medical calls.
All
Sounds
right.
great.
And Beckman takes the snap. He's going to hand off to Weiss, and
Weiss.
Weiss is going to power his way through. He's going to get a first down in just a little bit more. He's going to be down at the 6-yard line, it looks like. A great pickup right there by the Bearcats.
Great 14-yard run by Wise.
With 1 minute and 1 second remaining, the Bearcats are knocking on the door. It's tied at 28.
Bearcats are finally getting a good drive again. Like we talked about like 5-6 minutes ago of playing time. They have now drawn out this entire third quarter. They're going to bring it pretty much on down to the fourth quarter for all this to matter.
And Beckman is going to hand it off once again.
Wise will stumble in the backfield.
He's going to get he's going to get about 2 yards on that carry, so he's going to be second and.
I think it's 3 almost. They're going to give him 5.
All right, so we're going to have 2nd down and 5 to go. 2nd and goal for the Bearcats.
It looks like they will let this clock. Actually, no, wait. No, they're still giving the play call in. I was thinking they're going to let this one roll out as they have just enough time to do so on the play clock. But it's looking like they're going to run one more play here before the end of the third quarter.
Bearcats going to run this quickly.
8 seconds, 7, 6.
Beckman lines up in the gun. And it's going to be a
Hand off
handoff
to
to Weiss, and Weiss is going to be met. That was almost a well-designed run. He had a hole, but he tried to cut inside quickly, and he's going to be stopped. So
At
it's going to be
about the
3rd down,
3-yard line,
and that's
so-
the end of the third quarter. We're going to be going into the fourth quarter. So the Bearcats are going to have 3rd and about 3 in GI territory when we come back for the fourth quarter.
Yep.
We're going to
And-
take this short break. The Bearcats tied up with the Islanders at 28 apiece. You're watching the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank.
There's no place quite like our middle of everywhere. We're the bank that'll help you celebrate everything it brings. Because we're more than a bank in Nebraska. We're Nebraska in a bank. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be.
And welcome back to the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank. We're getting ready for the start of the fourth quarter of this intense rivalry game. We're knotted up at 28, and this is setting up to be an exciting finish, Mitchell.
They're knocking on the door right now. We're tied 28-28, as you just said. They're at the 3-yard line. It's third down. Fourth quarter, it all comes down to this. I feel like no matter what, these always come down, like these Grand Island Kearney High games.
And they're going to run it forward, and Dudenhofer
Touchdown,
gets into the end zone.
Bearcats!
Touchdown, Bearcats. Chris Dudenhofer with the 3-run touchdown.
3-yard touchdown run by Chris Dudenhofer. Punches it in there. Bearcats are going to take the lead here late in the game.
The Bearcats punch back after the long drive from Gish. So the Bearcats.
Another plus there. Riley Miller was back in at QB, so he was cleared and good to go.
All right, Riley Miller is healthy, and the Bearcats have some momentum now. James Dakin on to attempt the extra point. And the extra point is up, and it is true right down the middle. It is good. James Dakin knocks it through. So the Bearcats take a 1-touchdown lead, 35-28, just in the few seconds of the fourth quarter. We have a lot more football left to be played, though, ladies and gentlemen.
The one thing I haven't seen during this entire game is any field goals.
No, it's all been touchdowns today,
Yeah.
which is
It's efficient scoring.
I
Efficient
guess.
scoring.
It's been touchdowns and turnovers.
But you know what?
I don't think I've ever attended a Kearney High game where there has not been a field goal.
I know there's definitely been some big field goals in Kearney High games, but today we've got none of them.
You know
Although-
what? In a game like this, it could come down to a field goal once all said and done.
Yeah, like very easily. Either team
Yep.
could come back up. GI could tie this. We go back and forth the entire fourth quarter. And
I'm being honest, we might go OT.
I don't want to go OT. I'm tired already. But
You don't have to be at the
we're
school
gonna
at
do it
9
now.
a.m.
We're going to do it now.
You don't have to be at the school at 9 a.m. tomorrow for second instruction, which, by the way, did I mention that the fall play is now in full swing?
All right.
I mentioned that during halftime, but
We got the guy over for KGFW. He is hype. I don't know. I'm not
he's,
quite.
he's jumping up and down.
Man,
He's
I
going
love this
crazy.
guy's energy. Shout out to KGFW.
Yeah, we need a big defensive turnover here. Yeah, Dave Jenner's is done now. His final morning show is today.
Shout out to little Dave. He has been a great broadcaster for many years, and that kick by Dakin is going to sail into the end zone, and that is going to be a touchback. So the Islanders will kick off their first drive of the fourth quarter from the 20-yard line.
Yeah, from
Yep.
what I've seen, Austin Jacobson, the new play-by-play for KGFW, he's used to be at Holdridge, and he is a graduate of UNK as well.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, he's got a lot of energy.
I got to learn a little about him when I was here for a camp, and he came and talked to us. So I got to meet him a little bit, but
Yeah, but big shout out to Dave. For almost the entirety of freshman, sophomore, and junior year, I woke up to Hits 106, and it was always cool to hear Dave do the weather and tell really funny jokes
I've
in
been
the
waking
morning.
up to Hits 106 for as long as I can remember.
Yep.
And Fife is going to hand off, and he's going to be stuffed. The Bearcats stuff him down. He's still going, and he's going to be finally knocked down. He's going to be knocked down by Jack Dahlgren, who tried to put a hit stick on him.
It's probably
On the carry was Aiden McDermott.
probably line of scrimmage or 1 yard. They gave him 1 yard.
Yeah, he's dragging along Bearcat defenders and taking big hits.
Yep.
So now, the Islanders are at the 21-yard line. And Fife drops back. He's going to throw, and that's just going to be over the head of his wide receiver. That was number 36, I believe. Cole Bauer downfield was the target. Big third down here for the Islanders.
If we getting the stop for the Bearcats, Bearcat fans are on their feet, getting loud.
This is another one of those big plays. Every single play in this fourth quarter is going to be a big one. You just have that feeling right now.
Yep.
And this third down is going to be so crucial for the Islanders if they want to respond back to this Bearcat offense.
Yep. Most of us in here are on our feet, too, our camera operators, because that's how they get the best angle. Big shout out to our camera operators. They are doing an amazing job. And then the announcers, because we are honestly just so excited about this game. It's been an amazing game.
Fife made a solid run, but there's a flag on the play.
That is going to be holding. I'm going to say that's holding because the wideout for Grand Island was grabbing a big hold. I believe our number 21 there.
Let's see what they
Evan
do.
Denny. I think he was kind of getting held there. That'll be a holding against GI.
Yep.
So GI is
Moving 'em back
marching
15.
backwards now. So now it's going to be a 5-yard penalty or 10-yard penalty. 5-yard, right?
This is my
Holding will
favorite
be
part of the
10.
game.
My goodness, it is late, ladies and gentlemen.
This is my favorite part of the game. Watching Mr. Goff go absolutely crazy whenever something good happens for the Bearcats. It reminds me of like when we're watching the Vikings on football nights, and my dad goes absolutely nutso when they make a
Vikings,
touchdown.
yeah.
Which I have received a text that my parents are actually listening. So big shout out to mom and dad.
And that's going to be picked off.
Interception!
It's going to be picked off. That's going to be picked off by
That's number 36.
No, that's number 25, it appears. Wait.
Oh, is that? I thought it was.
Let's see. Well, nonetheless, and there's a flag. There's going to be a unsportsmanlike penalty on the Bearcats for that one.
That is Tanner Johnson.
Like in the rivalry game, you're going to get heated, but
Yep.
there's no place for that.
Tanner Johnson. That is a turnover for Grand Island. We are in great field position even
Yes.
after a penalty comes. We'll see what happens on this call here.
I believe it is on the Bearcats, but we will see what is going on
They
here.
are pointing towards the Bearcats.
Yep. Mhm.
Unsportsmanlike
conduct
on the
Bearcats.
offense. So the Bearcats will march backwards, but they still have the football nonetheless.
Bearcat ball at the 39-yard line.
Not yet.
Yep.
All right.
As I was saying, big shout out to my parents who are listening in, and I'm sorry if I just blasted out your eardrums, Mom and Dad.
Also, we forgot to shout out one of our crew members, Asher Salisbury, who isn't here tonight.
Alice, yeah.
Alice.
Alice better be watching us. I know he said today he was going to be watching.
Also, ladies and gentlemen, while we're on the campus of the University of Nebraska Kearney, the football team is on the rise, and they are making moves in the MIAA. And if you want to catch some action, go to the Lopers website, see what games they have, because they are must-see TV, or not TV. You can't really watch them on TV, but hey, if you want to watch it, go on NCN. But Riley Miller is going to is going to run it himself, and he has some open space in front of him. He's going to get down to the 25-yard line. That's going to make up for the yards that he had that the Bearcats had lost off of the penalty.
Yep.
That'll be about a 13, 14-yard run there.
That was a solid run right there by Riley Miller. Smart decision, keeping it in his hands, and he got the big yards right there. 1st and 10 Bearcats on the 27-yard line. Wait, no. Yes, 27-yard line.
While we're shouting out our participants of our wonderful broadcasting system, I want to shout out a former participant who I don't know if she's listening tonight or not, but Alyssa Epler. I am now in the same position she was in last year. I'm a senior this is one of my last few football games.
There's a flag on the play, and Weiss got down to the 4-yard line.
Yep.
But we're going to see what this is, if it's going to get called back or if it's going to be holding.
Yep. So big shout out to Alyssa, and I hope you're listening. We miss you. Come back, please.
Bearcats are marching backwards, so that means that this is a holding call.
That is a
On
sad
the Bearcats.
opportunity there. We were down at the one. We could have dragged out the
How
play-
far
the
back?
clock. It'll be 10 yards, but it can be from the spot. So if it was in the backfield, it's going to be even farther back. So it looked like it was a holding call in the backfield, so it must have been from the offensive line there.
That hurts the Bearcats, but
We've seen them get
First
out
and
of
20.
tougher situations than this. So
we got 1st and 20 from the 38-yard line. Miller lines up in the gun, takes a snap. He's going to look, and he's going to be wrapped up and thrown down to the ground.
Unable to get that one off.
that's harsh.
Down on at the 46-yard line.
That is
and we
a
have an
Grand
Islander
Islander
down
down.
on the field. The guy who sacked Miller. Oh, he's back up. Never mind, ladies and gentlemen, but he's going to run to the sideline. That was number 66. Number 66, Bo Douglas on the sack for the Islanders. So that just adds on more real estate for the Bearcats to cover.
2nd and 27. Well, a little bit of some distance to pick up here, but,
We got second to Axdell right now, so we have to make up some turf right now.
Maybe we can get one of those field goals we were talking about earlier that we
Yes,
haven't done at all.
that would be. Maybe I jinxed it. I'm sorry.
If you're the Bearcats, you need a touchdown. And there's going to be a timeout called right here, and I have to think this is a Bearcat.
for the Bearcats.
Definitely
Bearcat
on the
timeout.
Bearcats. Now are we
The
going to take
Bearcats
it
are
with
going
them?
to call a timeout, and we are going to take this break, and we're going to be back. You're watching the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank.
Well, all my dreams are sweet.
Life is about waking up to a brand new dream. We're the local bank that's with you, wherever it leads, because we're more than a bank in Nebraska. We're Nebraska in a bank. Pinnacle Bank.
And we're back here at the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank. And the Bearcats have a lot of real estate left to cover. It's 2nd and 27 coming up. We've got 9 minutes and 55 seconds left in this ball game. And the Bearcats need a big play to get downfield and have a chance of getting a first down, extending this ball game, holding on to the football, and taking more time off the clock. Riley Miller lines up in the gun.
Got 9:55 to go, so there's plenty of game left.
Miller's going to take the snap. He's going to hand it off to Weiss, and Weiss is going to be tripped up, and that's going to be a flag, and that's going to be a holding call on the Bearcats.
No, that might, honestly, he threw it there after Weiss had the ball. You know that?
That could be a face mask.
That could be a face mask.
It could be. Well,
I mean, because he kind of threw it at the feet. I mean, a hold here, but we'll see here. Now it's holding on Bearcats.
Yep.
Now this, like I said, this is a drive after a turnover. Huge interception by, was it Tanner Johnson?
Yes.
Huge interception by Tanner Johnson. Got pushed back on an unsportsmanlike conduct, but that was first down. And then so far this drive, we have had, this is our third penalty?
Our third holding call.
This is our third holding call and a sack. It is 3rd and
32.
They declined the penalty. So
they declined to first 3rd down, yeah. Yeah, it's 3rd and Gibbon.
Yeah.
So
the Bearcats need to get a ball downfield, and the Islanders are sending pressure. Miller's going to throw it downfield, and that goes in and out of the arms of that was Caden Miller, and that's a flag on the field. And you hope that isn't on the Bearcats, or else we're going to be going backwards.
Well, no, they'll decline. If it's a holding, they'll decline that because it'll bring up 4th down. My guess is another hold. Look at the Bearcats. Unsportsmanlike, no. Okay, what is it?
Illegal man downfield.
Yeah, illegal man downfield. So it'll bring up 4th down for the Bearcats. Punting again. Okay, let's go back here. There's still 9:23 remaining in the game.
Yep.
A lot of football left to play. One score. There's only small things in first quarter, second quarter, but fourth quarter plays are magnified. Magnified.
Yeah. Especially in a close game like
that
this.
second down where Miller completed the pass. Bearcats had the ball at the 1 yard line, holding penalty. Mm-hmm. Straight up holding penalty. And negated, we had 1st and goal. That's going to be flag.
Penalty, yep. Fair caught that.
Yep, fair caught.
So penalties are hurting the Bearcats in this 14th.
Absolutely just killing themselves right now.
Bearcat sidelines wanting a juggle from
that's what that's what the Bearcats are arguing right now. He juggled the ball.
Which is why they hit him.
That's why they hit him, because he juggled. That's what the referees are talking about right now. There is a discussion. He did juggle the ball, so he didn't get it clean, and then he started to move. It'd be interesting how it goes right now.
That is that's Tanner Johnson. I believe Tanner Johnson is who we have there. That is Tanner Johnson's best punt of the night right there.
Right.
Able to get him back inside the 5.
Large conference, the referees here. And I like this here. They get together. They're going to talk it over.
It's a big decision.
And, nope, catch interference on the Bearcats.
The Bearcat sideline can't believe it.
I believe that's 15 yards.
That'll be 15 yards, yep.
A huge break. Again, right now the Bearcats are absolutely killing themselves. And they have a 7-point lead. I mean, I said they're killing themselves, but they have the lead.
Yeah.
But, this game, they're allowing Grand Island holding. Again, that holding penalty, we had the ball at the 1.
We did.
Had the ball at the 1, holding penalty. Brought back, it was a hold.
Would have been a first down.
Would have been a first down at the 1 yard line. Goal here. Here, had them at the 5. Again, Bearcats have had in the 3 minutes of this quarter, I think they've had almost 45 yards of penalties.
And Fife is going to take it himself. He's gonna run it, and he's going to be stopped. I believe that was a wrap-up by Nathan Grabenstein.
Yeah, great hit by Grabenstein here. Yep.
Yeah, there's an Islander down.
Another Islander down.
And I think that is Fife.
That might be.
He will get up, though.
Yep. I do believe they stopped the clock, so they believe he has to go out.
Yep, he will head to the sideline.
Now, okay, very impressive. Mitchell, you talked about that earlier here. Fife has been a warrior tonight. Absolutely. Leading rusher for the Islanders. He's taking big hits. He's a linebacker taking big hits there. I mean, the guy's a warrior. I love to see players like that. You know, he's wearing the wrong jersey for us, but you know what? You got to give props out to good players. Absolutely give props out to good players. You know, hope to see that kid back in the field.
And a little bit of a bad snap right there. And that's picked off by the Bearcats.
Is that DeAndre?
That is DeAndre.
That is
Yeah, that is number 85, DeAndre.
His second
interception.
turnover of the night.
So the Bearcats have a little bit more momentum going their way, and a great defensive play right there.
All right.
Ndugwa.
All right, great interception here, and I get thank you guys for tuning in here. My name is Robert Goff. I'm the advisor. I want to thank everybody here for tuning in for our Strive Sports Network here, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank. It's brought to you by students here, the camera operators, the announcers, our producer here, all our students at Kearney High School, or actually Sunrise Middle School. Sunrise, there we go. We got our first middle school here, doing a great job here as a director. So we want to thank you guys for supporting high school sport. As we're here, high school sports, you guys are supporting this high school broadcast. Thank you guys for all supporting here. And Alex is giving me these horrible looks because I took her microphone away from her. And so I got to give her microphone back, and I'm out of here.
And there's a flag.
Another flag. That's going to be
a false start on
That's
the
a false start on the
Bearcats.
Bearcats. I think the Bearcats.
In the foot.
I really believe that might be 50 yards of penalties.
Easily.
In this quarter alone.
Yes, easily.
In the last 3 minutes, we've had. It's
on the Islanders. So
encroachment.
the Bearcats will march forward, not backwards. This is a change, which is a good change.
All right. Alex is still staring me down. You guys have a great night, and go Bearcats.
Now, one thing I did mention right at that turnover
Goff.
with DeAndre's interception. That's his second turnover that he's taken from Grand Island alone. He had that chase down after that Grand Island wide receiver got past, and he strip sacked him. Chase down, strip sack, as that is a
good run right there by Parker Weiss. He's going to be down at the 13-yard line. So the Bearcats, after that interception by Ndugwa, are marching downfield, trying to capitalize off that turnover as they have on many turnovers.
DeAndre has been hot tonight. He has been in the backfield. He's been causing chaos for Grand Island.
That guy has been on so many Little League teams that I've played on, Little League baseball. Watched him firsthand in Horizon when I played football. And Weiss is he's gonna keep his legs moving. He's gonna get a solid run right there of about 4 or 5 yards right there. So a good run right there by the Bearcats. They keep the ball moving.
And another interesting thing here, we are now hitting 8 minutes from now. We are knocking at the door. We have time to take things slow. We are not exactly in a super huge rush like we are down. We are up by 1 touchdown. We're in the red zone. It's second down. We can keep pounding the rock, forcing them to keep the clock running.
I don't like to say cruise control, but the Bearcats almost need to be in such as the Islanders disrupt that play. Parker Weiss with the got the handoff, and it's going to be a loss of a lot of yards right there. Loss of about 6 or 7 right there. And it's going to be 3rd and 11 for the Bearcats.
In those last 2 plays, the Bearcats were able to take off over a minute. Just over a minute, but they still need to score here. So
the Islanders know how crucial this moment is, and they are clearly playing hard.
Crucial for both sides.
Absolutely. This is a big drive for both sides of the ball right there.
Bearcats score on this drive. Huge boost of momentum.
Right. But if
huge shutdown for Grand Island because they now have to score twice.
If the Islanders get the ball back, I think we're going out.
It's a QB keeper right here, and Miller is going to be stuffed at the line of scrimmage. I don't think he got much of anything right there.
Got about 2 yards there.
So
we are in field goal range, though.
We are in field goal range
for a bit, especially with Dakin with his huge leg. All we have to do is get it through the middle of the uprights.
So Dakin will be on to kick this field goal. This is going to be about
See, I jinxed it.
This is going to be about a 24-yard kick right here for James Dakin.
Now, another added little bit of difficulty, I would say, is these are college field goals, not high school because we're playing on a college field. So a little bit.
And a
High
high snap, and
snap.
that one is good.
Good.
It's
That's a
good. It's right
20
down.
that's a
It's right down
30-yard
the
field
center.
goal.
James Dakin knocks it through, and and the Bearcats get some points out of that turnover. So the Bearcats widen the margin to 10, and now they lead Grand Island 38-28 with 6 minutes and 17 seconds remaining in this ball game.
That has now made it a 2-possession game. Like there's not like go for 2 or in a drive. They have to get the ball back twice with plenty of time to go score a touchdown and then get back into field goal range.
So the Bearcats.
That's hard to do for anyone, even in a quarter.
And
they have half that time.
And we'll see if Fife comes back in to this as we get ready to kick off to the Islanders.
another thing we've seen is with those holding penalties, you kind of can see how it's fourth quarter, first game of the year. Everybody's getting a little bit tired here. You would have to think that Fife is getting that way himself. He's played pretty much every down of football this entire game. He's leading rusher. He's also the quarterback. He's on defense, probably close to being the top leading tackler with
He's their
and
punter.
defense. Punter. I mean, I guess that's something, but
Yeah.
not giving him much of a break. So this is really hard for him to continue with how much he has been doing.
And Dakin here to kick it back to the Islanders. And this is another solid kick. My gosh, this man has a leg. Let me tell you it.
Looks like they're just going to take the 20 yards.
Once it gets into the end zone, too, it's just automatic, right?
Yep.
I think so.
As long as you don't touch it.
So the Bearcats.
If you pick the ball up, you have to run.
The Bearcats trying to stop the Islanders from gaining any more momentum, just trying to keep this game on cruise control, manage the clock, and just keep the ball, keep the clock moving. Because the clock is your friend at this stage in the game if you're the Bearcats. If you're up by 2 scores, if you're up by 10, and you have 6 minutes remaining in the game, you can, once you get the ball back, all you have to do is just sit on it, really.
you got 6:17. Both teams have 2 timeouts, so there's still.
Mr. Goff is just correcting me really quick. I'm thinking professional football because I watch a lot of that. In high school, once that ball crosses the goal line, you're done. You're going to the 20. So correction on that.
Yeah, and the main thing Bearcat defense here is don't allow huge explosive plays. Just give up the small play to stop the big play, because as soon as that big play happens, you're going to have a momentum surge to the other team, and they'd be closer. So take out the big play as
Fife is back into the game, and this is as you were saying, the big plays, that's a big run right there. That run was by number 10, Jace Chrisman, on the run right there. That's a solid pickup by the Islanders. So the Islanders pick up the first down.
I don't know if anybody just saw that play, what happened in the backfield, but as Fife was taking that ball back, Fife took a huge shot going back, I think about 7-10 yards there. I didn't catch the number, but it's shots like those that have been happening all game that, completely legal as they are, they just wear you down. You can't. It's hard to continue for an entire game.
Kyton Fife is a warrior, and he's gonna keep it himself again, and he's just gonna go down, and the Islanders are covered up by the Bearcats right there. Solid defense right there.
Even a lossage of a yard, I think.
Bearcats cause a 1-yard loss.
Yep.
2nd and 11 coming up for the Islanders.
Man, allergies are not your friend today, Nolan.
Oh, no, I've had a cold. We almost thought I had COVID for a second. I'm fine. Don't worry.
Oh, yeah, you just came back today, didn't you?
No, I'm not a super spreader, I promise you. Anyway, it's a high snap. High snap, Fife.
Time in the pocket.
Rolling.
And
And
dropped
that's
it.
going to be a drop pass right there. That pass was targeting,
It tried.
I believe that was number 3, Aiden McDermott on the target.
We're now under 5 minutes here, 4:57. Clock's stopped here.
Excuse me, that was Ariel Hernandez who was the target on that play. Or was that? No, that was
Bearcat
McDermott.
fans are getting on their feet for the third down.
It's 3rd and 11.
Another crucial
Stop 'em
third
here.
down. Another crucial third down in this ball game.
Stop here will probably lead to Grand Island going for it.
Fife takes a snap. He's gonna throw deep, and that's just over the head. His target was number 2, Dylan Sextro, and that is going to result in a 4th down and 11. And do you think the Islanders go for it?
Coach Cool sprinting down the sideline, telling Caden Miller to get back up there as he expects the Islanders to go for it here. As we are 4:52 left to go. Not much time because they still need a touchdown and a field goal. It's 2 separate possessions. Yeah, they need that.
At this point in the game, you're going to take the 4th down. You're going to try to run that play.
Fife.
Yep.
Drops back, throws.
They're playing.
They're going for the big ball.
Oh.
And he has a man
that's not
downfield,
good.
and he catches him in stride. He's going down the field, and that is an Islander touchdown. And the Islanders come in clutch on 4th and 11, and they go down the field and score. And all of a sudden, it's now a 1-score game. Wow.
That's what I said earlier. Don't allow the big plays to happen like that.
Yep.
He saw our corner, or I believe it was the corner, made the jump on that route, and he kept going. And that led to a wide open pass there.
The ball will go back to the Bearcats after this. And if the Bearcats can manage to hang on to the possession
And score.
they win. But they cannot let that ball go back to Gish.
The best thing Bearcats can do is have a long drive like they've had before and score.
Run down the clock.
Run down the clock and score.
A little bit of personnel mix-up by the Islanders, and that kick looked like it went wide left. That did not look like it was good. No, it looked like it went
No,
good.
they called it good.
That thing
is
looked
the
like
shortest kick I've ever seen.
that thing looked like it went about 50 feet in the air. That was a high kick for an extra point.
Best case scenario, the Bearcats score on their next drive, and they get the ball back quickly after that, and then they run the clock down. That's best case scenario. Worst case scenario, they get stopped on their first. I'm gonna stop before I jinx us.
Yeah,
We got a man down. We have a Bearcat down, and we're gonna take a break after that Islander score. So the Bearcats now have to capitalize and go down the field and score. They are now leading by only 3 points with 4 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in the ball game. And you're watching the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank.
There's no place quite like our middle of everywhere. We're the bank that'll help you celebrate everything it brings. Because we're more than a bank in Nebraska. We're Nebraska in a bank. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be.
And welcome back to the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank. A little update on the injured Bearcat. That was Parker Weiss, one of the big components to this Bearcat offense, and he's going to be off the field for a couple of downs, or possibly this possession, if the Bearcats don't hold on. The Bearcats can't march down to the field.
Bearcats set deep to receive as they scoot up with it. Ruling and Miller, Cade Miller.
Very short kick on that.
Oh, and a muffed kick, but it's going to be picked up. And a huge hit right there.
That did not look like it was fun.
That was a huge hit by number 45, Justice Hostler, excuse me.
It was Evan Poland on the return.
Who brought the boom right there. Great hit right there by the Islander defender.
Islander defense team is coming out.
Evan Poland able to take that big hit from the Islander kickoff squad, which great for him. He was able to muffed it a little bit, had to back up for it. It kind of hit right in between that zone where they weren't, between our back line and our first row of blockers for our last row of blockers for them. So he kind of had to back up a bit, kind of on his back foot. So we muffed the catch there, but able to pick it up and get a decent return out of it.
Bearcats at the 30-yard line. They're going to hand off to Dudenhofer. Dudenhofer is going to cut downhill, and he's going to get down to, I believe,
about the 34-yard line.
Yeah, about the 34-yard line right there. So a good pickup of a good chunk of yardage. Honestly, any yardage, the only thing I feel like you can't do is go out of bounds. Of course, I feel like you need to do good at clock management.
Yeah, that was one thing. He went out of bounds there. Clock has now stopped at 4:27. So
I feel like if you're the Bearcats, if you're Coach Cool, just run it up the gut. Trust your guys up front and just run it up the gut.
As long as we don't get more of those holding penalties, we'll be good. And it looks like they do give them 5 on that play.
Bearcats rush to the line quickly. Man goes in motion.
That's what they invented erasers for, right, Mitchell?
Miller.
Yep.
And that's going to be a low snap. It's going to be picked up by Dudenhofer. Dudenhofer has some open space in front of him. He's going to go forward, and he's going to be
loss.
stopped short of the line of scrimmage. So it's going to be a loss of about 3 yards. That was a bad mix-up play right there. The Bearcats look out of sync right now.
Remember, I said best case scenario.
Palmer had the little bit of a low snap there. He's had like 2 of those. He had maybe there's 2 or 3 of those tonight.
Keep in mind, this is Wade Palmer's first time starting in a varsity
this is
game.
His very first time in a varsity game playing in front of this crowd in such a huge environment. It's 38-35. Pressure's on. They'll get the situation sorted out.
Clock is running down. Bearcats are taking all the time they can.
Miller rolls out to the left, and the ball's batted and falls harmlessly incomplete. The Islanders are pumped up, and the momentum is all in favor of Grand Island right now. This is not what the Bearcats needed. They only lead by 3 points, and we have 3 minutes and 34 seconds remaining on the clock.
So what do you do if you're the Bearcats?
The Bearcats need to get a defensive stop. They need to get a decent punt off, which has not been commonplace for this Bearcat team so far.
Tanner Johnson did start a little rocky. His first one shanked out of bounds. Second one, that is another cramp for the Islanders. Well, that is... Yeah, Tanner Johnson had the first one shanked. Second one didn't go real far. Although his third one was within the 5 until we hit him on the fair catch.
So we're going to take this injury break as this Islander gets stretched out, and we'll be back. You're watching the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank.
Well, oh, my dreams are sweet.
Life is about waking up to a brand new dream. We're the local bank that's with you, wherever it leads, because we're more than a bank in Nebraska. We're Nebraska in a bank. Pinnacle Bank.
Well, oh, my dreams are sweet.
Life is about waking up to a brand new dream. We're the local bank that's with you, wherever it leads, because we're more than a bank in Nebraska. We're Nebraska in a bank. Pinnacle Bank.
And we're back here at the Bearcat Sports Network, and the Bearcats need to get a defensive stop. This is a big drive. They're going to be punting it away, and that's going to be a solid punt. That's exactly what the Bearcats needed at the moment, and that's going to be a fair catch. It's going to be down at the 27-yard line. So the Islanders have average field position to get this started, but the defense of the Bearcats needs to make a big play.
The Bearcats need to do what the Islanders just did to them. Stop them right there. Make them punt. Because at this point,
they're not going to punt. They're back, and they will go for it. I guarantee it.
Make them stop, preferably somewhere where the Bearcats can score.
So this is the biggest drive of the game so far, I have to say. This is going to be This is going to be a big moment in this ball game. This rivalry game has lived up to the hype and the anticipation. It's been 2 years coming, and here we are. We got Fife in the gun, in motion. And no, he's going to fake the handoff
Keep it himself.
to McDermott, and he's going to run it himself.
Oh,
and
he's
going to get the first down. And the
Oh,
Bearcats
he's
need to take him
going.
down. And he's still going. Oh,
How
my
is he still
goodness.
going?
And he needs
He's
to
got
get sat
the
down.
help. He's got the help.
He's down at the 47-yard line. He had his whole team with him.
He's got like 6 or 7 big dudes. They're just pushing him along, keeping them there. As all we had is our secondary. He was a little slow to get up there. I mean, granted, he was just pushed around by.
I was about to say, he's got to be feeling it after this game.
Certainly showing he's now played pretty much every snap of this game. So he is obviously got to be tired.
Fife lines up in the gun. Looks to the sideline, looking for an audible.
8 seconds to go on the play clock. 5, 4.
And Fife takes the
Just
snap.
gets it off.
And
1
he's
second
going to
left.
hand it off right here. And the Bearcats meet him strong after a gain of about 1.
That's what they need. I think that's what they need.
They need more
Oh,
plays
no, they
just
gave
like
it,
that.
They gave him 2.
On
Yeah,
that
2 yards.
tackle was
Plays
Nathan
like that.
Grabenstein.
If you can hold them to 2 yards every play, the most they're going to get is 8 yards. With that going, they're going to move it back 1.
Huh?
He got 1. They're going to say he was back 1. Only got 1 yard on the carry. So it will be
Darn, I really thought I had
Second
one
and
over
9.
Nolan.
Well, it was placed at the 2-yard line until they moved it back.
Fife is going to run it himself again. The Bearcats need to. That looked like an illegal block in the back
I
right there
saw
by
that too.
McDermott.
It almost looked like they had a legal block in the back, and also
No flags
a
thrown.
bit of a hold as he was running up, as the Bearcat was.
Oh, officials
running
got a
up there.
hand up.
Oh, that's normal for them.
Yeah, no, they're not calling.
Third and 5. This is a big play right now in this ball game. Bearcat fans rising to their feet. Got to make some noise right here. You got to disrupt this offense. Bearcats.
I say this play decides the game.
Bearcats.
Showing pressure in the box.
Bearcats are going to make pressure. And intercepted! Intercepted by Caden Miller. Caden Miller makes a cut downhill. He's going to go. He's down at the 30. He's down at the 20. He's down at the 17-yard line.
17
The Kearney High Bearcats
That is
have
how
stopped
you play
the Islanders.
football.
The Islanders.
The Bearcat fans
Stopped
are
by the
going
Bearcats.
absolutely nuts. We can
The
hear them
Rowdies
like we are
going
standing out there.
insane. The
Like we
Grand Island student section is dead quiet. We have 1:24 here to go in the last quarter.
If the Bearcats hang on to the ball, they win.
That
Bearcats
was
are
the
in
play
the red
of the
zone.
game, ladies
What did
and
I
gentlemen.
say? I told you that
that play
run.
decides. Well, we're not done yet.
We're
for
not
that.
done. We're not done. I can gloat in 1 minute and 24 seconds.
Goff is good. Goff
Go, Goff, go.
is leaving
Goff
us
is
again.
running down to the field. Field, right?
Bearcats have it down
Not
at the
pitch. Okay, that's baseball.
pitch is
Pitch is
soccer.
Remember how you talked about Harry Potter after that one game?
Mitch,
I remember
let's
that
play
moment.
some football.
Anyway,
There we go.
all right, Riley Miller, and there's gonna be a timeout. It appears.
Bearcats took almost
Timeout
39
Bearcats.
They took 39 seconds off that play clock. They were just not on the field enough, which granted that's okay because they didn't take any time off the clock though. It's still 1:24 because after the interception, it changed possessions clock.
There's no place quite like our middle of everywhere. We're the
Island still is 2. Bearcats are in the red zone. Probably going to run the ball a decent amount.
You know those
run the ball.
Bearcats will use their timeouts.
Run the ball,
Bearcats-
easy completions.
Words cannot describe how big that play was for the Bearcats.
Caden Miller had one big drop in the maybe 1 or 2 drops in the first half. One of them real close. Caden Miller has played one of his best games today. He is
Absolutely.
He's a returning starter from last year. He's been on fire tonight. He's had 2 touchdowns. Two touchdowns, a pick that was almost a pick six, about 16 yards away from a pick six.
Big shout out to whoever is taking my place this year as football writer for the Echo because they have one heck of a game to write about.
And Caden Miller is going to get a couple yards, and this can be a timeout by Gish. This is a smart
They're gonna
timeout because they
stop the
need
clock.
to stop the clock because the Bearcats are just going to do this over and over again, and the Bearcats need to
And
pick
they're-
up
they are
manageable
in
chunks of
touchdown
yards.
Especially when
range.
you can get 5 yards on that.
Exactly.
They score a touchdown with 30 seconds left. It's over.
I think it was wise on the carry there for about 5 yards.
But good call by Gish to call that touchdown right then because they know what the Bearcats are doing.
Timeout. Timeout Gish. So, yeah, both teams, 1 timeout. Gish will probably spend both of their timeouts here. We've got a 40-second play clock. So as soon as if Bearcats pick up a first down here, this is probably game. Bearcats need a first down, and then they should be able to kneel the clock out. Like, I remember 2 years ago, because last year was canceled due to COVID. 2 years ago, I believe it was 38-37 or something? It was a 1-point game.
It was a very, very tight game, and it came down to a single field goal.
And was it a field goal? Was that year?
Yes.
I don't know. I think maybe the year before it was that out. It was that out route too.
It's a day not many. It's a day that Bearcat fans probably won't like to remember, that 2019 game, as Riley Miller lines up in the gun. He's going to take it himself. He has some open space in front of him. He stiff arms a guy, and he's
Gets
going
to the
to
end-
run it in,
Oh,
touchdown, but
they're
there's going to be a
gonna-
flag on the
flag on the
play, and the
play.
Bearcats cannot believe it. So this one's probably going to come back, but that was a
Probably
well-designed
coming back.
run, and we're going to probably
They're
have
gonna
an
say
illegal
they're-
block in the
it's
back
looking
or
like
holding call right here.
I'm seeing holding.
The
Waiting
Bearcats
for the call.
did not need that.
Holding on the Bearcats.
So the Bearcats march 5 yards backwards. Not ideal, but the Bearcats still have the football, so that is a plus.
2-10 is not bad. 2 and whatever is not bad.
It is now 2nd and 12.
2nd and 12 from the 18-yard line.
We'll see if I'm not sure if the clock starts running after that. Yep, it looks like the clock will start running.
Wait.
I think. Nope. It's the clock staying. So the clock. So because that gave Gish an extra timeout pretty much because
Gish
it
is
stopped
doing
the clock for him because of that holding penalty.
Gish is doing everything they can to stop the clock from running.
Miller is going to run it out to the side, and he might redeem himself, but he's going to go forward. He's going to get down at the 9-yard line. A solid pickup right there by Riley Miller.
An 11-yard run for Riley Miller there.
Great run right there by the Bearcats.
I'm going to guess that's going to be a time. Yep, that'll be a timeout. Timeout Grand Island. That'll stop the clock with 52 seconds left to go. Kearney needs to pick up this next first down.
Absolutely.
We'll keep it here for now, but Kearney needs to pick up this first down. Kearney picks up the first down. That's going to get him in, and all they have to do is kneel the ball out after this. Because now it's 3 plays, and 3 plays will decide the entire rest of the game if they get a first down here, because the clock will be running the entire time, and all they have to do is kneel.
Bearcats would love to score here, but as much as that would be nice, you need to hold on to the ball and just
no matter what, no
shave
turnovers.
Seconds. Seconds are just so big in
You
this
take
at
the
this stage
first
of the
down,
game.
you score on the final play of the game. I described what I thought was the best case scenario, but this is making me so much more hyped up about this game. So hyped up that I knocked my fortunately empty McDonald's cup over.
All right, so the Bearcats have it down at the 9-yard line. They're in the red zone. They're knocking on the doorstep.
Gish is going to play their defense and play it hard. They know how important this play is.
They are absolutely wanting a turnover.
Riley Miller. Oh, and almost got a little bit of a jump from Gish, but they will.
Luckily, they
did not.
Luckily, they did not touch anybody. It's therefore they were able to get back and be just fine.
Miller. Oh, low snap. He's going to pick it up. He's going to take it himself. He's going to try to run it, and he's going to be stuffed.
He's going to get about looking like he just gets back to the line. But one official says line, the other says you got a yard.
Question is here.
We will see where the ball is placed.
Question is here. Do you go for the field goal?
But they're running. The clock is still going
Clock
down.
is running
30
now.
seconds.
30 seconds.
Grand Island does not have it. I'm going to say they're going to go for it so they have that extra advantage of being able to watch the clock here. Actually, I think Coach Cool is going to let this one go out and call a timeout at the last second. And that's gonna leave Grand Island with 4 seconds left on the clock at most.
The one thing you cannot do is cause a fumble or throw a pick in this situation because it could be death for the Bearcats.
Absolutely.
If there is a fumble, you absolutely need to dive on it.
The officials
Yep.
are waving.
Timeout Bearcats. We now have
Well
4
called,
seconds left
Coach
to go.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think the Bearcats just take a knee here and call it a game.
Yep, this'll.
Actually,
Bearcats need to go for. I say the Bearcats go for the field goal, forcing them to get a touchdown because if we go for Neal, it's a stop. A, it stops the clock because it's change of possession, and then B, we're giving it the ball with still that field goal opportunity instead of need of a touchdown. I would say we definitely cannot kneel the ball in this situation because this will just give them the ball left with like 3 seconds left, unless we want to do that delayed kneel where they kind of just hang out there for 4 seconds then kneel it. But at most,
Yeah, I agree with that, Mitch.
it is an absolute must that we at least hold the ball for 4 seconds, get a first down, and it doesn't look like we're going for a field goal here. I think Coach Cool is talking through kind of that how we're going to get this and stop the play here.
Absolutely.
When you are the coach and you are this close to winning, I cannot imagine the amount of pressure that is on Coach Cool right now.
Grand Island stands are emptying at the moment. Most of the student section is still sticking around. There is some student section leaving, although a decent chunk of parents are leaving currently.
The Rowdies are in the end zone ready to meet the Bearcat players after the game is over, and they are making some noise. Okay, and then we have Riley Miller in the gun, and they're just going to throw it up, and that is the smart play.
That's
and that is the ball game. What a great ball game that we have had today. The Kearney High Bearcats take the victory over their rivals, the Grand Island Islanders, 38 to 35.
Woj comes back after 2 straight losses. The Bearcats have lost two before this.
Woj!
But now they can claim now they can claim we own Grand Island again.
We do. Mhm.
All right, so the Bearcats played an excellent game, and for the first time since COVID, we are now having handshakes. This is a great moment. You missed this, honestly. This is one of the great things that's great about high school sports, the sportsmanship and the gamesmanship that happens. And boy, does it feel good. So the Bearcats played a very good ball game.
Cannon's going off.
And Mitchell, I'd say that the only thing that the Bearcats need to worry about going into the next game is the amount of miscues that caused bad things to happen
Yeah, that
in this
happens.
game.
Especially in a game like today. This is the first game of the season. It's our first opponent. Pressure's on because, it was 38-35 today, so that was huge pressure having to stop them, especially on defense. But it was the first game of the year. That happens. False starts, holdings, that happens. Those get worked out. So hopefully next week they get it all figured out. Our next home game is in 2 weeks, September 10th versus North Platte.
And the KHS Chorale will be singing the national anthem to start the game off. So if you want to come out and see the choir, come on down to the game. It's going to be great.
So, Mitchell, who would you say is the player of the game? In my book, it's Caden Miller. Caden Miller played a great, well-rounded game. He had some big turnovers caused that he gave.
The Rowdies are rushing the field.
It was a great game that he
Gotta
played.
keep him still.
And you know what? He balled out offensively, defensively. You could not ask for a better game from Caden Miller.
Now, Caden Miller he was huge. He ripped the ball from an opponent's hands for a touchdown. And at the same time, we have Riley Miller, who himself accounted for 2 passing touchdowns, and a rushing touchdown. Caden Miller had 2 touchdowns,
And there they go.
receiving touchdowns. And then we got the Rowdies storming the field. Grand Island student section is completely left the stands now. So Kearney's showing them this is the place to be.
Absolutely. It's been a tremendous game. And you know what? Got to give credit to Islanders. They played a hard-fought ball game. They fought us through thick and thin. They did a good job bouncing back. When the momentum went our way, they took it right back. And they just played a fantastic ball game. And you know what? Kyton Fife. That man
Props to him.
That man is a
Absolutely.
warrior. He's going to be a key player. He is the offense for this Islander team. And if he stays healthy, this team is going to be successful. He's been the utility guy on defense and offense through this game. And if it stays that way through the whole season, we are going to see a great Islander season for them. But the Bearcats, if they clean up the mistakes, they can play with just about anybody in the state.
Yeah, but right now we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back with our post-game show. You're watching the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank.
Well, oh, my dreams are sweet.
Life is about waking up to a brand new dream. We're the local bank that's with you, wherever it leads, because we're more than a bank in Nebraska. We're Nebraska in a bank. Pinnacle Bank. That'll help you celebrate everything it brings. Because we're more than a bank in Nebraska. We're Nebraska in a bank. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be.
And welcome back to the Bearcat Sports Network, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank. And Mitchell, any final thoughts on this ball game?
You know, looking back at this game, Riley Miller was 13 for 20, 184 yards, 2 touchdowns, and only one interception. So he had a great day passing. Now, he then again counted for 2 touchdowns on the ground, sacked maybe a couple times at most, which, again, those little things happen as little breakdowns on the offensive line. It's the first game. Those first game jitters happen, and just they move on and get better from this point on. We see, like we saw today, Kearney was able to outlast, I guess I could say, the Grand Island, especially coming back after halftime. Bearcats had a 2 touchdown lead. That immediately was lost in the first 2 Grand Island possessions. And Bearcats were able to regain control of the game, scored one more touchdown, another field goal. And then we're able to outlast by playing great defense, had that big interception at the end of the game, played great defense, keeping Grand Island at bay.
Yeah, I'd say that the Bearcats have a lot to build on off of this game. And you know what? So did the Islanders. I think that this has been a great ball game. What a great way to kick off the year, huh?
Yeah.
So awesome. Like, I am just in awe of the way that these two teams went back and forth, and ultimately the game was decided by a field goal. And that field goal went to the Bearcats. And that last minute, just throwing it out, it was just surreal. Because my freshman and sophomore year, we did not own Grand Island, and then junior year it was canceled, and now I'm a senior, and I'm seeing all of these rowdies flooding the field, and I am just in awe right now.
Yeah, this has been an amazing game. And another thing, to my knowledge, Grand Island did not lead at any point in this game.
No, they did not. You're exactly right.
Kearney started off the bat. They then answered a little bit later. Kearney scored again, and then again, making it. I think at halftime it was like 21-7.
Yep.
And then
5 touchdowns and a field goal for Kearney.
I think it was 28. 28-14, I believe.
28-14, yeah. All right. So we just want to thank our sponsor Pinnacle Bank for their generous financial support. And we want to thank Strive for this wonderful opportunity to broadcast. We want to thank our leader and teacher advisor Mr. Robert Goff from Kearney High, and from all of us, from our cameraman, from the people working the switchboards and the computers, from Mitchell, from we just want to thank you guys for tuning in, and we hope you guys have a great weekend. And we hope to see you guys next stream, which is when?
That is September 10th versus North. Actually, that might be the next home football game is September 10th. I believe there is a volleyball game that week.
All right.
Earlier in the week, though.
Stay tuned for volleyball. Stay tuned for football. We have it all here on Strive. And from everybody here in the broadcast booth, I'm Nolan Dart signing off from the Bearcat Sports Network. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good night.